Oh, yeah. Join us the first Friday of every month at Ultimate Audio and Fabrication in Mobile, Alabama, from 6 to 9 p.m. Come to our meet and greet, and you will see the most premium cars and trucks in Mobile, Alabama. Also featuring Bass Wars, the South's premier car audio competitive organization. You've heard of the Bass Wars organization. You've probably considered competing in the Bass Wars organization. Friends, it's time to pull the trigger.
This is just the beginning.
Bass Wars will be attending Slamology, the world's largest automotive and music festival. Yes, friends, you heard that correct. For the first time, Bass Wars will be attending Slamology. This is very exciting news, so don't miss your chance to compete with us. You'll enjoy our atmosphere and our laid-back style of competing. Those of us from Slamology, Bass Wars, Kicker, and Sky High look forward to seeing you at the world's largest automotive show and music festival, June 10th through the 12th at Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey,
What's up?
what you know good, sir?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Huh?
What's that?
I said, what do you know good? And then I said, just me.
Well, I know I had a pretty decent turnout this weekend, even though it was wet, cold, and rainy, and I really appreciate all the guys that stuck it out.
Yeah, man. We had it. Hey, Don. Yeah, we had gorgeous weather, pretty green grass. Had a fun show. It was the high voltage show. I had never
How
been there.
rude! How rude! That's all I'm gonna say.
We
How
was
rude.
thinking about you, man. I did. Hey, if it makes you feel better, I did almost work up a sweat when I was putting everything up.
We did our show. I want to say it was all day long, probably 44 degrees and rainy and cold. The car show that I went to shut down by probably like 2 hours of being there. The other organizations that were there, and I'm not mentioning no names, but they left after a couple of hours of being there. But Base Wars stuck it out, and we had 28 competitors, and I'm not for sure exactly how many runs, but it was a good show.
I started on that graphic this morning before I had to jet out. It was a good number.
It was a good number for,
40,
I
50.
mean, seriously, it was for the weather that we had, it was amazing. It really was. I appreciate it. My wife appreciates it. We both froze our butts off, and I'm not gonna lie.
So
It was-
here's the question, Jimmy. Why do you think people stuck it out?
Because they drove that far, or it was
They were vested.
yeah,
That's
they had already planned to be there, and it was the whole weekend thing. But I don't know.
so, but look, just as an FYI, the next time I ask that, it's just because Base War is just that amazing. That's the answer.
I would say so.
I mean, don't tell anybody I told you to say that on live, but that's what you say.
Base Wars brings the fun back to the lanes, and I've said it for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
in the Midwest region.
Yeah. Kansas. There's a lot.
Kansas, Missouri, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, or no, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, and Arkansas. No, not Arkansas. No, I said that wrong. There's that other state. Yeah, I've had a lot on my mind today. I apologize, people.
Right.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, 9 hours is not. Hey, you can go with me, Dom. You can just ride with me up there. Save you some gas money.
I try to not do a show that's over 4 hours. I mean, when you're getting past 4 hours, it's just not worth it. And I hope that we have some people pass there.
Yeah, we'll get in there.
Up in near Arkansas. We've had a couple shows in Arkansas, actually.
Yeah, we have.
In Missouri, I have shows all the time. Trust me. Just look on the event page under Facebook, under the original Facebook group, not the group.
Right.
Because
Actually,
when you get under the group, Billy doesn't update it as well as he should. I love you,
hate
but
that.
I'm being
I hate
truthful.
Yeah, let's. I'll post a link to the page. Well, everybody's watching on the page, right? Or I guess that could be on YouTube.
Yep.
Or there's somewhere else we go to. So,
Slamology. That's what's up. I
we
mean,
can do
seriously. That's big. That's big news for Base Wars.
that.
We're going to be at Slamology this year.
Yep. Let's see here.
I don't have a Facebook at all. Oh, wow. And I never really thought about that, Billy. What about the people that don't have a
Yes.
Facebook?
Yeah, you're right. That's a problem. It won't be long. They'll be populated on the website.
I'm in Missouri. Quite a few different shows, all the way from Well, I have some in all. I want to say it's Charles, Missouri, or something. I'm sorry,
Hey, Charles.
St. Charles. Maybe I'm not for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's quite a few shows in there. Almost to St. Louis, but not quite St. Louis. Dan's gonna help me out with that one.
St. Louis. It's like a
Dan's-
suburb.
Yeah, it's
Right there on that
I wanna
river.
say it's like an hour from St. Louis by far. We got great Corbin watching
In a
on
while.
my Facebook here. Sorry, I had to click my Facebook on there, Billy, because I got yelled at for some people that I wasn't going live and they couldn't see it. I got Ronnie. I got quite a few people watching me on my account.
Well, that's cool.
I wish-
Right.
Remember, everybody, if you're watching on my account, I appreciate you and love you. But if you comment on here and you have not followed the Base Wars page, we might not be able to actually see your comment. It'll come up as Facebook.
And also, when we look at this little screen and it says that we have 3 people, it's hard for me to go to, say, Slimology and try to hit Donnie up for $1 million of payment when I only have 3 people.
Yeah.
If I
Well,
had 19 people, then I could
Well,
hit him for a couple million.
on the Facebook page, it's saying I have 6. You have, well, Base Wars has 9 on Facebook and 3 on YouTube. So, definitely, I don't like to push it, and I've never been this person. But if you guys could please share, like, and follow, it would help us out a little bit. It really would.
Yeah, like I
And
said,
I'm just, I have to get to that person where please share, like, and follow.
right. But hey, at least we're not giving away stuff to share, like, and follow yet.
Yeah, you're right.
We got a
Absolutely.
little bit. Right.
Oh, please definitely meet up with me.
Where's Columbia? Near you.
Columbia for me, I want to say is
South Carolina.
probably no Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, there's a Mississippi as well.
Oh, is there? Okay. Yeah. No, he's talking about Missouri.
Okay.
Y'all need alerts for live. I didn't.
Hey. Subscribe to the page, and I think you'll get it. And subscribe to YouTube, and I think you'll get it.
Huh, that's weird. I wasn't aware that you guys wasn't getting live. So sorry. So sorry.
So anyway, do we have Travis coming today?
Yes, he is supposed to. I've sent him an invite.
He's kind of a laid-back fella.
Well,
He'll probably cruise in whenever he gets ready.
he's got a 2-hour difference.
Yeah, that's true.
It's 5:13 where he's at. So I mean, yes, Travis will be in here, but he'll be in here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Done if. I wasn't aware that we don't have alerts for Facebook, but we'll try to see what we can get.
I never heard of the Windy Warriors. I've gone to Florida a few times. Loudest Euro in Southeast.
No, and I don't know who you guys are, and I don't mean disrespect by that, but I've never heard of that either.
I bet Robert probably knows them.
I'm
Man,
sure.
look here. I forgot to put my makeup on, man. I just got here. I just walked in the door.
Oh, I didn't shave today, as you can tell. I'm extra gray.
I did that.
People might know my age. It's getting in there a little bit.
Yeah, I'm 28 myself, man.
I'm doing good, David. How are you, sir?
I even put my mood lighting on. Right.
Oh, this was just.
So listen, man. Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to some people. Lizette came to a couple of my shows. Comes to Benton, and he came to the High Voltage show. So he told me that they actually have watch parties on Monday nights to watch this. Yeah.
Okay, we're actually.
They got like 70 people in the room, all logged in, and he don't understand how come we only show 25 people.
Oh,
Maybe he said 7. Not sure.
Probably 7. Yeah, maybe. You know.
Right.
We appreciate everybody that actually tunes in and watches, the content that we try to put out. We try to make it kind of somewhat decent and something fun for you guys to watch, but it doesn't always work out
Yeah.
like
And
that.
so what he means by that is we don't have a plan.
That too. That
Right.
too. We wing it. We always wing it, and that's what I think keeps us a little bit different.
Originally, I intended this to talk about our previous week shows, all the runs and be exciting and stuff. But after I did that, I was like, wait a minute, I'm no longer at all the shows because we started getting people. So I can't talk about something if I'm not there, you know? So it just kind of changed, but we didn't want to quit doing it. So, well, Jimmy didn't want to quit doing it. I'm still looking for my replacement.
No, Jimmy has never gave up on you guys, and I think Facebook and YouTube and all the other streaming possibilities that we have is where it's at.
So
And we appreciate you guys for watching us. Seriously.
Now that you mention that, Jimmy, I'm going to start working on a way to. I've not really tried hard to push Base Wars, even since I've gotten it, since we've had it, or since it's been in existence. But I think I'm going to try to push my online presence. And so I just did a TikTok, a Twitter. We've got YouTube. What are you trying to do?
Nothing at all. I always got my 3-4 different koozies that I show every night. I show the family love.
Thought you were suggesting I have a drink.
Well, that too. Yes, sir. You should. Well,
but
really
anyway,
guys do drink a little better than I do.
Yeah, we're gonna. So in other words, I'm gonna try to pick up our online presence. So if you guys have any ideas how I can do that, I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. We always like to hear the positive feedback where, anything that you can help us with growing wise is as far as on streaming applications or just anywhere, please reach out to us. For sure.
But yeah, so you can go follow Base Wars on Twitter.
We're getting there.
Since I felt like that Base Wars could have a voice on Twitter, I joined it.
Okay.
I kind of kicked off of it a long time ago. And,
I'm not a TikTok fan, but I don't.
So Melissa Hall was telling me you can go live on TikTok now, but
I have a TikTok account that I can go live on. Yes, sir.
But our little thing here.
Well, with TikTok, you have to get so many followers before you can go live.
I think I have.
So for us, we'd have to actually start posting a whole bunch of stuff so we can get enough followers to be able to go live.
I think we have it, man.
Okay. Yeah, Melissa said 1K at least. Yeah. So if we have at least 1K, we should be able to add it to the stream. Right. One way or another.
So I'd like to iterate to everybody that Slamology is coming up. We're going to be there. You should pre-register. It saves you money. Saves you $20. And absolutely. If you put if you select Base Wars as the reason you want to come to Slamology, they will treat you like kings, I bet.
That, and it helps us out too as well.
Yeah, we want us to come back.
Yes.
So we need that.
Well, we want them to know that our presence is
valued,
needed there.
Valued.
How about that? Valued.
We want to be valued.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can do this. Let me read it slow though. Convince me not to sell my kicker quad for something more basic, for better words. Well, first of all,
the kicker quad is an amazing box. Are we talking about the quad box?
Well,
when he says that, I mean, we got to be a little bit of clarification there. Is it?
Look at there. Look at there. That's cool.
Absolutely.
He runs Slamology, so he would know.
Thank you, thank you, Bobby. We appreciate that. I've been trying. Billy's been trying. We want to be there. and we
So
appreciate
listen,
being there.
so let me answer this for Brian right quick. So Brian, you don't have enough voltage to run some high SPL stuff. So the amp that you're running that Kicker quad box with is the best you can do. Those Kicker speakers are more efficient than anything you're going to buy out there. So unless you have a lot of power, by that I mean alternator, battery,
Yeah.
into whatever amplifiers you have. If you add a high performance, a high SPL subwoofer, it'll take so much power to push it that you may not be as loud. There's
Well,
your
yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. I mean, it's all a lot of people today forget about. Oh, I've got a 20,000 watt amplifier over here, but I still have a stock alternator and a stock battery. I mean, if it's you're not getting the power
that
that you need
translates to
back
a
to it.
4,000 watt amplifier at best.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to have the best alternator, the best wire, the best battery. If you ever in just millisecond numbers expect to see the potential out of an amplifier, you got to have the best.
Yeah. Look, there's nothing magical about any amplifier. None of them are 100% efficient. That means
Uh,
they're not. There is not an amplifier that's 100% efficient. It does not exist. If it
with
did,
with the correct power, I disagree.
you could disagree all you like. You tell me it don't put out any heat. I'm telling you you're wrong. It's
Well,
not going to be
They
100%
all put out
efficient.
hit.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you're right.
And that is loss of energy. So it's not going to be 100% efficient. But if you have a 5,000 watt amplifier and you only got enough battery for it to put out 2,000 watts, then you got a 2,000 watt amplifier. So,
Yeah, you're right.
and then if you have a subwoofer that holds 50,000 watts, it's not as efficient as, say, one that holds 900 watts. It's not going to hardly move at all, and so you won't be as loud. Right?
Right. Sorry, and I'm not trying to be rude. I got people over on my page commenting. If you guys could go to the Base Words page and comment over here so we can actually see your stuff, I would appreciate it. I only went live because I've got a couple people yelled at me because of it. And if you comment on the Base Words thing, we will actually be able to see your comments. If you're on my Facebook page, I can see it, but nobody else can.
What amplifier are you running, Brian?
Like over on my Facebook page, we got a lot of crazy, a lot of big name people watching me over here. We got Ronnie, we got Chris, we got Antonio, we got Charles, we got Dan Liebert. Wow, we got some big name people watching me on my Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Where is Travis? Sorry, guys. I know he's coming. He's running a little bit on the backside here.
Yeah, he'll be here when he gets ready.
Yeah. Well, he had to actually finish doing it. I think he was reconning the sub real quick.
Well, and it is 5 p.m. over there.
Yeah. And that's the biggest difference.
Yeah. But these AGM batteries, Jimmy, you help me out on this one. You probably know better than me on this. Those things give up power really slow. And that could be, if he's got a Class D amp, it could just not be dumping power quick enough to put that out. What you think?
I would agree. They're hard when it gets to the AGM side. They hold voltage for a certain aspect, and then when they dump off, it's hard to get them to bump back up. And when they drop down to the lower voltage, you're just like Billy said a minute ago, you're not seeing the power out of your amplifiers.
Yeah, and they, I think they have a higher resistance, which means they dump their power to the amplifier slower. So even if they don't have high voltage, or even if they have high voltage, it might just not be putting out the current, as fast as the amplifier needs it. Back in the day when we used AGMs, that's why we used capacitors on top of a big battery bank.
Yeah. Well, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago when I had my AGM, I actually had sinus problems. I had 6 banks of caps in there with my AGMs.
Mm-hmm.
So between my 6 AGM, I had North Star batteries in there, plus my 6 banks of caps. I was golden.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
always
the
use big
weight,
80s.
the
Big
weight was amazing.
Oh, yeah. I always had pickups, so
Yeah.
plenty of room. But yeah, 8Ds and caps on top of it was always the win for me.
All right, Travis just messaged me. He will be here shortly.
Good deal.
So he's not forgot us.
What are we going to ask you, man? I
No.
meant to write down some notes, but my notebook.
He's got some new products out right now. I mean, he has
much, huh?
amazing wire cable management system.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That-
Combs. He calls it wire combs, right?
I think he calls it wire combs. Yes, sir. That I'm actually pretty interested in because I need a little bit of help on the wire management side, cleaning it up. And then he's also come. His battery is like ready to be shipped out. So that part, I'm amazed.
Yeah, which battery is that?
The new one.
That little one?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. I want to say it's the NXT, and I might be wrong. And I'm sorry, Travis, if I said it wrong.
I saw him post that Steve Barber made him a really cool looking box.
Yeah, that and the it's all the above. You know, he's been working on it for a while. Him and Huey and everybody else involved with that company.
Hey, so this Huey guy,
Huey's pretty cool.
Hey man,
have you never met Huey?
I'm that's what I'm supposed to tell you. I don't think anybody's ever met Huey.
Oh, I have.
Well,
there's quite a few people.
Were you drinking? Were they all drinking? Because
no,
I've never seen.
I actually remember Travis and Huey before they became a battery company. They used to come down here and compete,
right? And
they were pretty impressive. And then they started the whole JY company. Trust me, Huey's he's a pretty fun guy to be around.
Well, I have never laid eyes on him. I see him on a decal, and so to me, Huey is a decal that's beside the mustache decal.
Well, just because I don't want to like quote out of text, but I believe that Huey has his family has a huge business over in China that he helps with, and he stays over there.
I heard
he comes back over here. I want to say every once in a while to help out, but he's mainly over there running the business. That's why we don't see him.
If he were a real person, he's over there running a business.
He is a real person. Trust me. I've met him. I've seen him. I've seen his wife. He's a good guy.
Well, maybe we're gonna have to get him on the show at some point so we can prove his existence. Because if I've never met him, and I'm thinking he's just a decal, maybe other people think the same thing.
Possibly. Right? I never really thought about that aspect of it. Yeah. Maybe we'll ask Travis when he gets in there.
Yeah.
Huey, where you at, Bubba? Everybody wants to know. I know you're not watching my videos, but come on, Huey. Can somebody tag Huey in here? Hashtag Huey, come back.
Listen, we started our intro videos early just so you wouldn't have to sit there to 7:06 before you got to see our pretty faces. Right?
Absolutely.
So listen, guys, what the videos are for is I spent like a full day on all those, and I would like for you guys to appreciate them week in and week out.
He put a lot of work into their videos.
Really, this is the truth. When we set these things up to go early, when we create the event early, a lot of guys log in and they're just sitting there looking at black space. That just gives them something to look at.
Yes, sir.
Lessons learned from Kicker.
I was just actually getting ready to say that. I can understand, like, there's been quite a few times where I've logged in early under Kicker and they've got that pre-video going.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they do it. They said they have people that come on early and start commenting stuff like 30 minutes early. So they just got some videos together and they just made videos to play for 30 minutes prior to them actually going live.
I mean, nobody in our video ever comes on early, I mean,
Right.
ever, I wouldn't say Bobby or El Fuego or Abstract or none of them were on before our video started. We do appreciate you guys, seriously. But so, like Billy said, we're starting to take a page out of Kicker and everybody else. We're going to maybe start the promo videos a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry. For the people that are watching.
Yeah. I made a new video, y'all. I forgot to put it in the lineup, so that did save you a whole nother minute. Right.
Just got base orders live. That's what's up, Tommy. Thank you.
Right. Oh, hey, I want to give another shout out too. Also, I mentioned Lizelle a little bit earlier. He competes over there in Tennessee, Lizelle.
Okay, sorry.
Dude, he tossed me and Melissa some lunch money, and so we had supper on him. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Much appreciated when you could take care of the judges. We don't ask for much because that's just us, and we're not there for money. But take care of your judges; they appreciate it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, he ran a lot of classes with us, and then he still tossed us enough money to have a very good supper. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely, for sure. And just like Dan said, we bring the fun. Dan was at my show this weekend. He understands, and I don't know how else to say it, but I appreciate all the people that were there this weekend. It was cold, it was nasty, but everybody stuck it out, and we had fun.
What did y'all do?
We ran the car show.
How was the scores, man? Were they good? I mean, because it was cold.
Paul actually put up a 68 this weekend.
Paul Nolan?
Paul Nacer, sorry.
Paul Nacer.
Paul.
Hey, man. What vehicle does he have?
The Tahoe.
Who's got that little the vehicle with the little white seats that look really cool?
That is Aiden Beasley.
Okay.
I might not say that name right, and I apologize. I'm sorry, but it's Aiden.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those are cool little seats, man.
It's the little white one that slams down on the ground with the airbags and all deaf bounce.
Yeah.
Deaf bounce, whatever.
Bounce, that's right. Yeah.
Bounce, whatever. They can't get mad at me no more. But
hey, you know what?
Amazing equipment, but yes.
I'm not on the subject at all. It's just because I got to hurry before Travis gets here, right? But so I talked to Wayne Harris, right? And there's an update coming out that's going to have little notes for you and I to type in notes. We are, in theory, going to be able to type in a member number, and that will make life easy for us, man. Life as we know it will change.
Okay. About time. That's all I'm going to say is about time.
Yeah. So, but got to subscribe to that software maintenance, get that update.
I haven't updated mine for a while, and you know why. But
yeah. But
I
order
got like 3 updates. The last one that they have where you can actually save the data, I know that's more on the competitor side, but I want to use that personally for me.
Yeah. So,
High five. After
a week or two, well, you can do it whenever, but we got to get that software maintenance.
I don't have a show, I want to say probably a couple of weeks, so it wouldn't be a bad idea if we could do that in the next week or so.
He hasn't rolled that update out yet. I talked to him.
Okay.
But he said that pretty much I could have sort of been, well, maybe not doing it all along because that little note spot I think went away, or the membership place went away. But anyway, he basically told me that I just didn't know what I was doing. He's accurate about that on our files, that we save. Anyway, so the good news is, dude, we're gonna have a key identifier that will make life easy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand how many countless hours that Billy has spent behind the computer actually doing spreadsheets and just trying to give you guys the information that you want and enjoy. Billy has spent all them hours behind a computer typing in every name, every score, every class. It's been him on a file.
But listen, but here's the drawback to that. I don't mind doing it. Didn't mind doing it. And we'll still have to do it to an extent. But man, when I put it on the website is so slow.
I disagree. If my friend down here, Reese, we all love Reese. If he comes through with that program that's good, we're there. Between Wayne and Reese, we're there.
We'll probably show this next week. And so I won't say who or what just yet. But we had somebody build us an entire website, dude, and it looks amazing. And so I feel like we're real close to just having what we need.
It's going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it will actually allow Billy to get from behind the computer, spending all them countless hours that he does that you guys don't understand. That Billy is behind.
It takes my Monday, no matter how many shows. It takes my Monday.
Yeah, but I mean, we appreciate you and we thank you guys for that. And I don't want to seem like we're ungrateful, but Billy does spend a lot of countless hours behind the computer trying to create the spreadsheets and just everything for you guys. So
and listen,
that help will be amazing.
It's slow because, I'm not a coder. I'm not a web guy. I've had to YouTube and learn all that stuff. Baby step number 1. Hey, Mike was there. Mike's been in a couple of these shows.
Thank you, Mike.
Did a 64 in Port Wars.
Okay.
Picked up 4 decimals or 5 since the last show.
I don't know how many times I have to remind competitors down here when you're running in Port Wars, if your vehicle peaks at 57, we're just going to throw out a random number. If your vehicle peaks at 57, it might peak at 57 up in the cabin, but you need to test at the port. Because I'm telling you, I've seen boxes drop 3 or 4 frequencies below or 3 or 4 frequencies above as well. So if you're going to run Port Wars, you really need to do a little bit of testing and see where the mic is just at that point. Or, I know it's fun and that's where we want to keep it, but to be competitive, do a little bit of testing. I'm telling you, there's some huge gains in there that people just don't realize. Billy's all moving his camera. I can move my camera too. It's not digital. It's manual. I'm old.
Right? Yeah. Somebody messaged me and said I'm too little. They can't see me.
Well, you are kind of down there a little low, but it's not good.
Yeah. Supposed to sit up, be attentive. Here we go.
6 all day.
Purpose.
I've seen people actually gain a lot in the port that they just don't realize. Seriously. Hi, Zach. Thanks for watching.
Wow. 8 frequencies lower. And that's a CRX, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Jason said right there. You just wouldn't think. It's almost like how am I going to reach that point where it's going to be like 8 frequencies lower or maybe even higher? Because I've seen boxes where actually the higher is the better. You just really have to do a little bit of testing. You'd be surprised. Just like out the window when you're doing the crowd loud or the mayhem out the window, the frequencies change out the window as well too. And people don't understand that. Because when I competed in another organization that was 1.5 feet out the window, my frequency changed.
Yeah.
I went from a 47 to almost a 45.
I had Daryl Nova compete in that Mayhem class. We don't get a lot of people in that class down here, but Daryl Nova competed in it, and so that was one of our first ones in like not ever, but first one in a while. We put him a foot outside the window.
It's just like testing your cabin. Absolutely, Jason. I appreciate that. I mean, it's really, you got to do testing. People would be amazed by the difference between the frequencies outside your window by a foot to 6 foot to having it up in the port. I mean, it's the frequencies change. And I seen somebody that I was pretty impressed this weekend that actually was louder with his back hatch open on Port Wars. He was 2 dB louder with his hatch open versus it closed. And I would have thought that being that it was closed, it would have been, or it would have helped him and he would have actually built more cabin pressure. But he didn't.
Yeah.
With it open, he was actually 2 dB louder.
There's certain boxes in a Nissan Altima. You open that trunk and you're 2 or 3 decibels louder.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, but I mean it's silly. You just got to test with everything. We have classes all the way from 0 to 19, all the way up to 60 hertz, Zachary.
Call that the weed eater class.
Yes, sir.
All right. My 6 foot seemed like it was a 43 when I tried crowd loud this past weekend. Let me see. Ooh, you know what? That won't work. I'm going to pull up some scores from the weekend.
Oh, Zachary? Yes. I mean, we have somebody down there in my region that's playing 19 hertz and below.
That's pretty weird.
Jesse, there's a guy, Jesse, that I think a couple weekends ago that actually was playing below 19 hertz. I was like, ow, stop. But, I mean, he did it. And
so, Jimmy, another cool thing, I think, and Wayne didn't state this to me, so I could not be, I might be wrong about it, but I believe that when he does what he does and we can use that new data, well, let me say this, let me rephrase. When I learn to use the software properly, I think it will put out that frequency as well. So we'll be able to post that on like the graphics that I make. So we'll, like, it'll say so-and-so, but we'll put it what frequency also. That'd be nice.
Okay. Travis is watching my live video. Travis, bring your butt in here, sir.
Does he know that he's supposed to be on the other side of the camera?
Here, I'll send him another.
Watch.
I sent him an invite twice.
So, Jimmy, who is Anthony Miller? Is he one of your guys? I bet he is, isn't he?
Anthony Miller, I believe so, yes, sir.
Does he have one build or two?
A couple over the years, but just one that I'm aware of.
He is 7th and 8th in your competition this past weekend.
Without seeing the score sheets, I'm not accurate.
Yeah, I'm sure it's they're so close. But he gained a decimal, so kudos to him, right?
Well, there was quite a few people that actually took advantage of it, and I watched them gain the cold weather. Yeah.
Well, I was just mainly wanting to make sure there wasn't two Anthony Millers.
I don't know if he ran two different vehicles, so I don't want to state on that yet.
Well, I can tell you this: he's on here twice in the monster class, so that's the reason I asked. But let's see, you had a he's 68. Matt Kirk. What is Matt? All right, that's Port Wars.
Yes, Port Wars.
War score though.
But look at Paul Nacer. It wasn't a Port Wars.
What
legendary, I believe.
Yeah, 68. What's he got?
I don't know. I don't want to. I want to say it's
got a couple of kicker 12s, probably, huh?
Yes, just like 3 or 4 kicker 12s with a couple of amplifiers in the back, you know.
Mhm. Jamie Biedrowski at 155. That's kind of low for him. Oh wait, no, that's a 30-second average.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was probably out the window.
Because he don't do peak classes, does he? So that's probably a beast, man. What do you reckon he peaks at? I mean, what do you think his actual score is?
He'll never show you.
Well, that's fine, but that's amazing for a music class.
Yeah, you're right. He did actually hit that 51 this weekend.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. I've seen a lot of actual firsts this weekend. You know, I know that cold weather and barometric pressure and all that makes a big difference, but yeah, it was pretty amazing.
So I don't know if you guys know Brett Arsenault, but he's got a C-pillar build that is 61.
Brett's got an amazing build.
Mm-hmm.
Team Notorious. Sorry, I almost said the wrong thing there. Team Notorious in the house there. Hang on, I'm going to send Travis another invite just in case he didn't get the couple that I've sent him already.
Yeah.
Mr. Young, you're paged. Everybody comment Travis Young, JY Power.
He's probably got to get his hair right, man.
Hashtag Travis Young. Come on. Let's see that in there. Ain't that how all the other viewers say that stuff?
So do you know Anthony DeNaples?
Not right off heard.
All right. Well, so he competed with us at Sundown Show with an 8, and he did a port score of 65 and some change with an 8. So now he's got this Astro van, and he there were a lot of orgs there. There was let's see, Mecca was there. I don't know who NSPL is, but apparently they're big over there. Okay, so they were there, and then I saw Walt post that he was there judging for DB Drag, and I'm not sure the other org, but I think there was another org there. But anyway, so I was talking with Sean Mayo from XS Batteries,
Yes,
and Anthony came by, and I asked him how he done in all the lanes, and I asked him if Bass Wars was his loudest, and he said no, he had done louder in the other org. I said, well, we can't have that. And I asked him to come back through the lane, and he had ran several times for us already, you know, free reruns and all. And anyway, so dude, he came back over there and busted a 65 and change compared to a 64 and change. That's a decimal is hard to get when you're above a 60, man. And so I just thought that was pretty dang cool.
I might. That's pretty amazing. Look at Jason in here flexing.
Uh-oh, I didn't see it. I was reading scores. What'd Jason do? A 72 firing, man. Firing. Go hunt amps. He's cheating.
You got one of them cheater amps. Ghost power amp.
He's got a cheater port. He must have amplifiers in his port.
That's pretty funny.
He got a positive negative hooked to his port, man. You got to check him out next time.
I apologize. We're our host or our guest is running a little late tonight.
Right. So Jimmy,
there is a 2-hour difference between us. So he's probably just getting off of work and trying to do what he needs to do.
Hey, Jimmy, so I'm going to freak you out and let you hang by yourself for a second. Right?
Okay.
I'll be right back.
But I'm handling all by myself. What's up, Travis?
I won't let you hang by yourself, man. Don't worry. I got you. I came in just at the right moment.
Yes, sir, you did.
How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got home. Had to run around and call city zoning inspectors today. And man, I'm good, but holy crap, bureaucrat systems.
You're doing big things over there, though, so I can definitely understand why.
Well, our neighbor doesn't like us at the shop. My house neighbors, for the most part, you know, we get along with everybody just fine. But the shop has tried, like, there's a parking dispute, between one of our neighbors and another one of our neighbors, and we got dragged into it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, no, super strange. Like this has actually nothing to do with me, but anyways, like the shop next to us started like going at it with this other place that parks cars in front of my place, and they have my permission because it's an open parking lot because we
Absolutely.
don't have assigned spaces, so whatever. Well, anyways, the lady went and like tried to call the city on me because we're building subwoofers, quote unquote, without a license. And I don't know what kind of fucking license you need.
I was just getting ready to ask you, when do you need a license to build a subwoofer? Because
You
I've
don't.
been violating that for like 2 years, and I know you've been doing it for a lot longer.
Oh yeah, and don't get me wrong, you got to have a business license, but like we have a like what do you? Oh yeah, so I went there, I figured that out, and while I was on the phone with them, because we're getting ready to bring all the 3D printers out of my house finally and bring them to the shop.
No, we
And,
missed those shower pictures.
Hey, what's going on, man? High five. We so I asked I'm on the phone with my my shop landlord, and she's like, well, we had somebody else think about moving in here, but they couldn't because of the zoning. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we're an industrial complex. We're not like an office complex. We're not commercial.
Right.
It's an industrial complex. Industrial to me means we manufacture things. So she's like, I'm not telling you no, but you need to go check with the city. So I go try and look it up online, and there ain't a goddamn thing about 3D printing because it's brand new. And just in deciding whether we're light industrial or heavy industrial. So I actually had to call the city planner and go over him all the chemicals that we use, how we work with them, and all of that. And we got cleared for the subwoofers, we got cleared for the 3D printing and everything. So just blew my mind that like I knew I was well within my rights, but I had to go call somebody to make sure. Yeah, I don't know. So today was bureaucracy.
All because of a Karen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a lady that came to St. Charles there and said Dan Current was loud.
It was my show. It was my show, yes.
What the heck are they thinking, right?
Oh
She
shit!
called and emailed Billy for like 2 months over that.
She would get on the events that I had posted in Alabama and complain.
Yeah,
Wow.
but she was in Missouri,
Yeah,
Well, she could hear him all the way,
right? I
Loud
mean, it
motherfucker.
was Dan Current. That's why. Dan just like rocked her whole weekend, and we heard about it for months and months and months.
God. Yeah, this is why I don't leave my house often, and I just kind of stay to tinkering with my shit. Oh,
yeah.
but yeah, we've been busting butt. We've printed off. I don't even know how many thousands of combs we do. We do 1,000 to 2,000 combs a day as it is
Hold on,
right now.
Travis. What do you mean? What did you say? Combs?
Yeah, so combs are a new wiring
Combs. Okay.
organizer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got you. Combs. Okay.
So
That's a lot, man. That thing must be big.
No, I don't have one printer right now. I have
Like 4 or 5.
I got 5 in the house right now.
Wow.
I've got 2 in the garage that are down, and then I got 2 more big guys coming sometime this week. So half my kitchen's a 3D printing shop, and my kitchen's big. So yeah, no, she's not happy about that, but it makes money. So
Right.
I was hoping you was actually going to actually be video chatting us so you could show everybody some of your stuff.
well, I actually was thinking about that. I still don't have a camera, but
Well,
let me
Oh,
open
I'll
up.
send you one if I have to. Gosh. Really?
Well, I mean, like I got the laptops, but then the laptops don't have my like computer files on them. I can
Is there
share my
do
screen.
you have it online anywhere I can go look? Like maybe on your personal page or website?
Yeah, there should be some good pictures on.
Excuse
there we go.
me.
There should
Sorry.
be good pictures on my Facebook.
Yeah, the last recent ones, I believe, right?
Let me.
Yeah.
I'll search it right quick and I can share the screen.
So
Okay, I'm gonna step out because I gotta go potty. I
Okay.
apologize.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
Oh, I think this is a good file. Okay, there it is. I need to put you guys up here now, though. I can't see you. So I should be sharing my screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I see it. Okay.
there we go.
Yeah.
So that's the 1 by 2 hold down.
Mhm.
Right now we've just got 1s and 2s, and then we've got combs and hold downs. The combs go in between the hold downs, or where, like, leading up to the amp, where you wouldn't be able to screw it down to something, and they're just a little bit cheaper.
Now we're looking at what? A cone?
Yes, this is a comb,
Yeah.
and you can tell the difference between a comb and a hold down because the combs have these spots for screws, and I did add a small bevel to that, so you can use a wood screw there. While I'm preferring everybody use pan heads,
Right.
you can use a wood screw in these. So,
Yeah.
but
A
they're
lot of
nice
people,
and cheap.
Travis, you know what, Travis? We could talk about this half a second. A lot of people don't know why you would use a panhead as opposed to a wood screw. You want to tell
Oh
them?
yeah, absolutely. So if you just flip them both over and look at them, a pan head has a nice flat bottom to it, and a wood screw has a beveled bottom to it, and it's actually at quite a kind of decreasing tapered angle. But it's more like an arrowhead at the bottom of it. So if you have something that calls out for a pan head and you stick a wood screw in it, either the wood screw is going to break the part that's underneath it, or it's going to bend it, or it's just not going to sit flush. Where a pan head's going to sit something flush. That calls out for a pan head and you stick.
Mm.
So yeah, that, and we've just got these in 1s and 2s, but I mean it's kind of crazy because we sell them in
I've
different
seen
pack
people
sizes.
using them already. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of it, and I'm actually pretty jealous of some of the builds that has them already.
Oh, you've got some coming for yours too, so
Well, I'm not
don't
looking
worry
for
about that. But these, it's so simple and so fast. We threw 70 of these in Carlos's van, and
Yes,
it took
that's
literally
where I
5
see them.
minutes.
Really?
5 minutes to do that.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So it's one of the big things for us is we kind of strive to be a shop brand, a brick and mortar shop brand.
Mhm.
And that kind of goes with these, because DIY guys, even though we want our DIY guys to buy these and they're at a cost point that they're competitive with everything else on the market, these are really meant for a lot of shops, and that's where we've gotten most of the interest in. And if you guys see when I post up, I usually post up that, hey, we've got shop packs available of 100 or more.
Yes, sir.
And that's because these are a solid margin item for most shops to have and clean up their installs, and not only clean up their installs, but be able to make their installs go by a little bit faster.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's a product.
How many pointless hours have we all spent? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But how many pointless hours have we all spent trying to clean up our wires, trying to use the old zip tie technology, where you put one here and space one in between each wire? I mean, it's a lot of time and money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna fess up something that I did not complete, but I tried and I feel stupid for it. I literally tried to sew my wires in one time to my fabric. I run one strand of
wow, that's old. Line. You are old as hell, Billy.
through the casing and put it through the fabric. I did that.
Hashtag Billy
That's
is
a lot
old.
of work.
Yeah, I didn't complete it. That's what I said. I didn't complete it.
Yeah, I could see
getting
done.
Yeah, I could see getting a little way through that and just being like, whoa, never mind.
Yeah.
I would have quit after the first wire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. After.
And I hate wires. I know people display their wires, but I hate them. And
man, they're hard to work with, and a lot of times they're just messy and in the way, and you don't know what to do with them.
Right.
So these are that, cheap option where you're spending 10 to 20 bucks a lot of the times. You spend a little bit more than you would spend on a bag of zip ties. But here's the thing, you're going to spend 5, 10 bucks on a bag of zip ties that you're going to lose half of them. You're not going to use that whole dang bag. So that bag is going to get lost and you're going to forget about it and it's going to go away. So,
Yes, sir.
And
and
I
then,
don't want you seeing a zip tie either.
well, and
They're not decorative.
I've seen
No,
people
but
get
there's-
creative. Don't get
There's
me
some
wrong.
neat
I get
it
things
too.
that I've seen done with zip ties that I was like, wow.
Agreed.
I never thought
Agreed.
about that.
But again, where we really are focusing in on these is those shop installs, and that's why we release the 1s and 2s first, even though a lot of the people on our side of the market are using 3 1/0, 4/0, going all the way up.
Yes, sir.
But we've sold about 40,000 of these connectors so far, 42,000. So
And
They're-
you thought batteries were the way to go.
oh no, and yeah, that's the crazy thing for me too. Yeah, is I just got some guys trained, and we're gonna be paying $25 an hour for people to run the 3D printers.
Hey, man.
Can you see the comments that I'm posting up, Travis?
They are not on the JY Power website, and they won't be for public. We are actually working on getting away from JY selling anything to the public, so you'll need to go to one of the dealers. I know Down for Sound has kind of talked about them distributing to some of the other online places. So
The
they,
second JP.
but there should be some more online sources later this year, but they'll be available through a lot of brick and mortar stores. That's kind of the real big deal there.
What about the colors?
Only doing gray right now. I will do some limited edition different color runs, or if someone wants to order 500 to 1,000 of them. Well, no, we resin print. So yes, the wire snaps right in and it holds nice and firm too. So there's a couple really small like wire sizes that don't fit in there. The 0 gauge is really good to go. The 8 gauge, the only brand that I've heard has an issue with the 8 gauge is DB Drive's 8 gauge is a little small on the jacket or something like that. So that one didn't fit well, but we tested a handful of different brands, and your Sky Highs and stuff that Sundown size and DD size, that all fits fine. So cleaning up wiring on a 6-channel, you can, just depends on what inputs have, but we have 4 gauge, single and dual 4 gauge runs, and then we have 8 gauge runs, and we are coming out with speaker wire versions also, and that'll hold a 2 set or a 4 set on those. So yep, we will have the full line, and then there'll be an RCA. Yeah, I see there is an RCA comment on there too. But yeah, we will have RCA.
Matters a lot. People just don't understand that.
You can sew those.
Everybody hire Billy to sew.
Oh no, not hire Billy, but Billy would like to sit back with a drink and spectate while you do it.
While your hands sewing that RCA.
We'll go live, and it'll be entertaining, I'm sure.
Yep. And in the vast majority of these, I have somewhere on the piece included a way to run a remote wire through it also. So on the hold down,
right down in the center of that hole right there.
Yep, right there.
Oh, that's cool.
And then if we open up, where's the comb? This was the original one that I did, but here we've got it on the bottom. So some 16 gauges, anybody that's running 16 gauge for their remote wire, that'll actually snap in underneath there. So yeah.
We actually had a few comments earlier about Huey. About how everybody hasn't seen him for a while. And I was like, I actually seen him at 3 or 4 recent shows.
I don't think he exists. I think he's just a vinyl decal next to a big mustache.
So actually, I've been talking to Huey. He may or may not have a project going on soon.
Would love to
nobody-
see him
Nobody knows.
come on live one time with you as well.
That won't
Possibly.
happen. That won't happen.
I know.
Absolutely not. He hates people. He
He-
hates
he-
publicity. He hates people.
Does exist. He's fake. He's not
No,
real.
no, trust me. I'm telling you, when I used to
Everybody's
go to the
met
loud
Huey,
and clear
raise
shows here in Kansas City, Travis and Huey were like God mode back then.
Well,
And I
then
was
let's
like,
talk about
what
that.
the hell?
How often do you see Huey now, and how often do you see Travis?
Oh, I see Travis all the time, and I see
Yeah,
Huey
that's kind of my
probably.
point. So
Oh yeah.
we need. I know there's some shady stuff that goes out in Vegas, and now Travis is everywhere and Huey's nowhere. It kind of makes
I
me
see Huey probably 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
talk to Yui. It depends on the day, but either daily or weekly usually.
see.
But,
Last one to see him alive, man.
Huey is an urban.
Actually, I'm not. I think
He's
Jimmy's
suspect.
seen him. Jimmy's seen him before I've seen him last.
I
so
did. Yes, sir.
I haven't seen him since actually. No, I flew out there once
There you go.
right
Look.
after the pandemic. Yep, Midwest Finals. Yep.
Yes, he was there. I was pretty amazed by that, actually.
Uh-huh.
Now there's the three.
And I
of
think-
you guys. And I'm
I've seen
thinking
Bigfoot
conspiracy.
more often.
How many people does it take for it to be a conspiracy? 'Cause there's 3.
Everybody needs to tag Huey in here. Come on. Let's see if he'll actually come in and say hi.
He's
Oh,
probably
Lord.
asleep. No, he's probably getting up.
No, he's here in the States. He's in
I was
Iowa.
gonna say he's here now. Yes, he is.
Oh, hey, I have the link up.
Yes, you do. I hear it in the background.
I just opened my phone.
Yeah, Huey's here in the States. I seen him probably 3 or 4 months ago.
Well, that's
Yep.
what people say. I just never seen it in fruition.
He's a man of very few words.
You
I can honestly say that.
you may see him at Slam this or next year. I don't know if I'll get him to come out this year or not, but he'll probably come out next year.
So, are you gonna come over to the Base Wars tent and run something this year?
I'm flying up, bud.
Uh,
I'm flying for my first time ever.
Base Wars tent and run the meter.
I'll come hang out.
Right?
there you go.
Hey, we had
That's
fun
cool.
last the sundown show. man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we were at Sundown Show, and I think the last show we did together was SEMA.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
last show was SEMA. So, and then I'll be out for Slam. I'll probably come out for Sundown Show. They need to
Scraping?
make that 2 days. I thought Scraping already come and gone.
No, Scraping is right after Slamology. It's
What's-
the 25th.
What's the one that just happened within the last month? Down by Drew and Steve
That's
and all them. They had the
TDH,
vendor
right?
problems. Not TDH. I know TDH is huge. And that was about a month ago.
Yeah.
No, this one Drew went to, and there was a huge issue with dealers getting it or vendors getting in the doors the first day. And
Oh no, he's talking. That's Scraping the Coast.
okay,
That is Scraping the Coast. Generally, we can go there on Fridays, unload our trailers, and get the vendor booths and everything set up. This year, they decided to actually have a concert Friday night, so we can't go until early Saturday morning to unload the vehicles, and that's upset a lot of people.
yeah, for sure.
It's Alan Jackson. So I mean, Alan's
I mean,
pretty strong when
it's,
he can
it is
probably
what it is.
rent it for that Friday night and tell us.
But I mean, honestly, you
But-
think about how much money they're going to miss out on the concert versus Slamology or Scraping the Coast. I think it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. You're right. Alan Jackson has a huge following, and he's
Hey,
a big guy.
man.
But
Jackson, there's got people standing out at the ocean wanting to hear that man.
over the Scraping the Coast crowd, though, I think it's going to hurt Scraping the
Well,
Coast this
Friday
year.
night, it's already paid for. Friday night's no extra, so it's extra money for the Coliseum. Extra
Yeah.
money for the city, I bet. I
You're
don't
right.
know, but I did
But
call.
think about how much it's going to hurt Scraping the Coast this year because of people not being able to set up Friday night. I've heard quite a few people that are actually pretty upset about it and may not even go this year because of it.
Well, Drew's post, he was
Everything I
pretty
have
mad.
heard- yeah, everything I've heard, everybody was cool with it. They weren't too worried about it. They were just upset that Base Wars wasn't going to be there.
Well, that too, I mean, Scraping the Coast really needs to step their game up and allow Base Wars to be there. I mean, seriously. If they want to call themselves a real
Car show.
sound off
Yeah.
competition car show, they need to have Base Wars there.
That's
I mean,
true.
that's just what I'm going to say.
I
Maybe
don't.
we get Donnie Babb to call down there and throw us a bone.
I haven't been out to Unified Finals in a few years, Vega. I don't have any plans at the moment, but that may change. I don't know.
October
We-
1st is Base Wars Finals.
Right.
So, Travis will be down here with me.
Right. I don't think, and it's also not unified anymore, Travis. That is just DB Drag.
Just
Oh.
the drag is not unified no more.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
I
right.
talked with Shannon from Mecca. Hers is, I think, the weekend of the 15th. I could be wrong, but I think it's the weekend of the 15th. And we announced ours back November, but honestly, DB Drags, worldwide, and they probably just didn't know, and they shouldn't even probably worry about when ours is. But
No, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Absolutely. And you guys have a different crowd too.
Right, that's right.
so-
But Billy,
you know.
Billy has stepped up above and beyond with what he is willing to do this year.
Yeah.
If you go to DB Drag and you post your best score that you have ever did, as long as somebody video records that and shares that with Billy, he'll carry that score over.
We're gonna
Just
count it. Your
because
DB
of
Drag
the
run can
exact
count for Base
same
Wars,
days.
Awesome.
but you
Well,
got
and I
to
got-
register for that.
I
Gotta
got
pre-register.
I got a bit of a business bone to pick with a lot of orgs. And I don't know that you guys necessarily fall into this because you guys don't ask a whole lot for, in terms of sponsorship.
Mhm.
You guys aren't super expensive.
We try not to be, no. But
And-
we need some help. I'm not
Oh
gonna
no,
lie.
and I totally understand. I totally understand, but hear me out on this, and I think you guys will recognize some of the problems here too.
Yes,
As
sir.
somebody that has spent probably close to $100,000 over the years sponsoring car audio shows.
Ouch.
Yeah. I mean, like one finals sponsorship costs us $10,000.
So
So
Travis,
I'm not exaggerating at all there.
I'm gonna buy you dinner, right? We're gonna go to dinner since you're talking like this. I'm just kidding, man.
Well, you got to remember, I've been in car audio about 13
Right.
years, so
Right. Go ahead. Yeah, I was
and
joking. Yeah.
that's spread throughout the year too. We do
Right.
help a lot of shows versus finals, and what we expect from people promoting a show is much different than what we expect, somebody hosting a finals event, and especially when we're given a large cash value for a sponsorship.
Yes,
But
sir.
I don't
Yes.
I don't have the problem doing it. But here's the problem that I have is when we do an investment like that, usually you want to see some kind of a return. Car
And-
audio as a competitive sport doesn't have a return for the manufacturers. And that sounds crazy to the customers, but guess what? That 1% that is sitting there, them 100 people sitting there, do not pay the bills at these companies.
Right.
They just don't. Now, what would make that change a little bit? Because once you go to a competition, you've picked your brand. You're on your team. You're doing what you're doing. You're already set in stone for the most part.
Not necessarily, because I've switched 3 or 4 teams, and I'm not gonna.
Sure, but is the brand looking to spend 10 grand to go
No.
change over 4 or 5 Jimmys at
No,
World Final? You see what I'm saying?
but I
so-
spent money to get on that different team, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. And people need to understand that you're not getting on Team JY, Team Death Bounce, Team
Well, he's not
Orion, or
he's
any
talking about
other.
teams,
network.
though. He's talking about sponsorships. That's
Well,
different.
Yeah, this is
Sponsorship the
this is
same
a
way.
bone. I expect less from my competitors. What I expect from my competitors is for them to win. I mean, that might sound a little harsh, but like Team JY, not Team Lithium can't demo because that's our little demo crowd that we have fun with and do fun stuff with. But Team JY is a very like elite group of people that have either earned their way onto the team or had done the prerequisite work. It's stacked full of a bunch of world champions that every time they go out, they win. So BBM's on
remember
there, Luke
Super
Hensley's
had-
on there. There's a bunch of people on Team JY. Michael Hughes uses our products and is on Team JY. So we've got a pretty star-studded team that we work with. But all I expect from them, I don't expect them to do social media posts. Like they
No.
are expected. They're not expected to be experts at it though. They're expected to go out, win trophies, send me some pictures of it, and then let me work with the story there. With an organization, the issue is I spend $10,000 with you guys, and we are your main headline sponsor at finals. How are you going to get new people in the door that aren't competitors? I need spectators.
So
I need 500 spectators. And
So-
then I'm paying $2 per spectator. You see what I'm saying there?
you get a kick out of this, Travis. I talked to a potential sponsor. We're now at the point that we're looking for sponsors, right?
Yes.
Kicker helps us out greatly. They
Mhm.
in more ways than financial. Travis, you know this.
Mhm.
But so I was talking with somebody, and you know what I said to him? I said, "Man, what can I do that will be good for you?"
Yeah.
Because used to, they're not going to come out to your stereo shop, and they might stand in your parking lot and order something off Amazon because it's $2 cheaper.
Mhm.
So what do we have to offer you, dude? I don't know, and to this day, that is how come we don't seek out sponsors, because I don't know what I can give them. Now we're getting big enough now that we can offer them some advertisement, right? A little bit. But yeah, that's been the whole glitch all along.
Well, and I could tell you what I would want to see. And this was something we've actually worked with Kicker. I'm kind of on the ball with Bill about this because Bill's kind of taken over some responsibilities there to help with this kind of thing.
Mhm.
But we had started this conversation back in 2020 CES. You might have been there. I can't remember, but there was a big group of us, and we were all talking about, if things don't change in car audio, we're probably going to see it continue to die off. Even though we see small pockets of growth, overall we're losing people.
Right.
So and one of those things is I think we attack this idea from, well, we're going to sell to the competitors and make money off the competitors, and that is a 1990 mindset when everybody's dumping money on car audio and tons of people are competing. And nah, man, if we look at who shows up to finals, like it's a lot of the same people from year to year, and it's a lot of the same people at the same finals. Like I travel with a group that goes to
Right.
all of the finals.
Yeah.
So what is profitable for a company looking at a competition is the exposure level. How does your brand advertise itself? When you have your finals, are they advertised locally to get locals there? Are there door prizes for locals that are coming in? Is there anything pulling in local people for me to advertise to? Because realistically, when we ask ourselves why do
Mostly the
sponsors
new crowd.
spend just as much money on Slamology as they do finals or more, because Slamology has 50,000 people through the gate.
Yes, sir.
Right.
If you ask me for a $4,000 sponsorship, I'm paying like 10 cents a head.
Right.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
well, what do you got to say, Joe?
Right. So Travis, so what is it you think would be good to see? And I'm glad you brought this up, because I stated on this show right here earlier tonight that I was going to step up our online presence. I have really not tried that hard, but I'm going to. So what is it? I mean, online is one thing, but
realistically, doing
Online is everything.
this sounds silly, but doing radio ads in the local area for the finals that you're doing or the show, like if it's a big show, don't get me wrong, don't
Right.
spend,
Yeah,
don't do a
understand.
bunch of ad spend,
Yeah.
but do some research on how different forms of advertising can help bring spectators. And I wouldn't just pick up a book and read it. Like, yes, read into a little bit, but I would go look at the racing tracks. What are racing tracks doing to pull
Mhm.
people in? They're having fun nights. They're doing this. They're having certain drag nights that are stock only, and then a
Cash
lot of times cash prizes.
cash
Um,
prices.
and not just
100%.
cash prizes for people competing, but like they have goofy little things on the side. So we're we're looking to not only like it's becoming a little lonely too, but like when we mix ourselves in with the right kind of car shows, um, Cars and Coffee is not the place for a car audio show to be.
No,
Um, but like
no.
our taco festival for SEMA, that went off without a hitch. That was awesome. We mixed two like crowds, big yee truck guys and the lowrider guys fit really well with the boom boom guys. Like, so we have to look at it being a multi-market thing. Audio is not like most car audio shops don't just do car audio anymore. They do rims, they do tires, they wrap, they window
100%.
tint. They have to. Or they would not stay alive if they only did car audio. So why are car audio shows only doing car audio to try and stay alive?
100%.
So definitely looking into modern day marketing methods, doing some ad spend. Like if we give you $10,000 or not even that, say we give you $1,000, tell me that you're going to spend $100 on that on local radio advertisement. And actually, David, JY Power did sponsor food for everyone at a DB Drag or at a Unified Finals one year.
That was 3 years ago.
Yep, it was running late,
Yes,
and
sir.
we went and got like $300 or $400 worth of burgers for everybody that was still left. So, dude, I mean, little things like that. Yeah, hey, we got a free food truck out there for the first, like whoever, or like first 100 people through the gate get
We got
100
Big
people
Justin
probably
in
buy.
the house. Thank you for watching, Justin.
But yeah, I mean, having it be
I-
this multiple thing again, not just car audio, is really important because you miss the people in the family, like the girlfriends that want to go walk
Yes.
through the carnival or
They want
whatever.
food. They want everything. They
But
want
here's the thing, we still, as a company, I still want to sell to that person. I
Right.
still want a chance to pitch, her seeing one of the cars and going, hey, I do like that. I'm not interested in this at all, but dang, that did look cool. Maybe, and then she goes into her shop and it's there on the shelf. But I
Mhm.
need people to influence for my marketing to be
Right.
effective.
Yeah.
That's what I
100%.
like to think is that we are creating the influencers. So
You got to step out of the community. I mean, like he's trying to say. I mean, just the car audio guys is not where he's trying to stop. He wants to step outside the car audio guys, just the average day builder or the average day shops, or there's a whole lot behind it.
Well, and if we were to pull Bill in, and I don't know, I can text him and see if he wants to get on at all. But this is something when we start talking about corporate audio and bringing back real sponsors, like Kicker. There's a different level of what they expect and what I expect. Kicker's a little different, but if you guys want JL to if you guys want JL to sponsor, you're gonna have to show them that you can make any kind of impact.
right.
But if we aren't doing any marketing, then your ability to make an impact is next to none.
Okay,
So
well, in that, I actually have a question. Think about, and I don't mean this to be wrong, but think about how much promotion we've did for Kicker over the last couple of years.
Mhm.
Say Billy was to offer you something comparable to that, not the same, but something comparable to that for a lot less value. Do you feel like as a company you're getting everything that you're reaching for with what
So
we're doing?
it depends on how you prove it to me. So like the engagement numbers and all of that. So you guys need to track, like, and I think Bill could help you with this with your analytics.
We
But
we
keep
do
track
this.
of. Okay,
Billy
keep
does.
track of all your analytics, and
Yes, sir.
that is your work log. That's saying, hey, this is who we have outreach to, and who's interested in us. So, and that's basically what your ability to kind of market out is. So, and that grows over time. That grows a lot over time, and persistence. That's one of the biggest things. Like if you get into streamers or anything like that, which you could almost kind of line up streamers and car audio shows side by side. Not so much this, but the show side. Persistence, keeping at it, and being a consistent thing is huge. So, and it looks like we're getting some lines crossed with Joe too. Joe, I'm not talking about competitors.
Yeah.
I'm talking about shows.
Yeah.
The actual show. I'm not talking about the competitor. I'm
Yeah, there's a
not.
difference.
I'm not detracting at all from what our competitors do for us. What they could do could greatly be enhanced if finals did real marketing and had the stands a quarter of the way full. I'm not even asking for them to be full. If we could get them a quarter of the way full, what the competitors are doing would be amplified immensely. But
And-
everything is on the competitor to do it right now, and it shouldn't be. We're not paying the competitors to do something. A lot of times we're giving them a little bit of gas money. We're providing them with product discounts. A lot of times most people don't get stuff for free. So, you know, like Joe is right. The competitors are doing all the footwork, but they
And
aren't
get
making any
nothing back
money.
from it.
Yeah, they get a little
Nothing
discount and
back
some
from it.
gas money. So,
I've been on
yeah.
that aspect, and so have you, and so has Billy. I mean,
Yep.
you put a lot of time, money, and effort into, I want to say, promoting that brand or being behind that brand, and there's not a lot of turnout or a lot of I'm going to give you this back at that point.
Well,
Because
and it does come down to kind of monetary things too, because again, when we go back to what pays the bills at the end of the day, at least for us, because we're not a direct to consumer brand. Like we do sell some batteries direct, but we've always sold more batteries through dealers than we have through.
But that's hard coming. I mean, I'm sorry. I've seen both aspects of that.
Mhm.
Where you want to be the guy that supports the person that is going to every show, but also in that same aspect where realistically I can't pay for your gas to go to every show. I can't pay for your subs that you go blow at every show.
Yep.
But I mean, that same aspect, like Joe is saying, I mean, where does that person that spends $5,000-$6,000
Here's the thing: how much money you spend is absolutely means
Nothing.
nothing. Means
It
absolutely
means
nothing, because
nothing.
I have retail customers that come in and buy 10 batteries and don't blink an eye. And do they deserve something?
Right.
Yeah.
They walk into a shop and then they pay a shop $30,000 to do their build. Do they deserve a discount just because they're spending a lot of money? Now, me as a person, like if somebody comes to me, not one of my dealers, and like, hey, I want to buy 30 batteries, bro, I'm gonna get you signed up with a dealer account more than likely. Don't get me wrong, but like it doesn't entitle you. You spending money with a company doesn't entitle you to any discount.
Absolutely.
I think, and Travis, I bet you agree. The basehead community
is a small percentage.
Well, that's true, but they have to market themselves as influencers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't see it being anything better for a manufacturer than having a basehead as an influencer. I mean, what else can they give you?
And
You're
just
right.
winning really isn't enough, because like, and Joe's a good example of this. If Joe wouldn't have done the follow-up on all of what he was doing and bringing the attention with him, we probably wouldn't have sponsored him as well. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have gotten us out as much.
Joe's an amazing guy.
Yeah. and he puts all of his effort for it.
100%.
It wasn't how much money he spent with us that got him the recognition that he got from us. It was the work that he put in and constantly trying to promote that work. So there, like I said, with him, it's he took a little bit of that personally, but Joe's kind of the shining example of what you should be when working with companies.
Me
But
too, Justin.
my issue, Joe, isn't with at all with the competitors. You guys do everything that you can do, or else we wouldn't work with you.
Right. That's what
but-
I'm saying. I think the competitors, the best thing they can do is be an influencer. I think that's, I mean, what else can they do?
Well, and here's the thing:
But-
if you're an influencer, you don't even need to win. If
Right.
your advice gets out to a lot of people, and a lot of people enjoy watching your content and
Right.
interacting with you, that means more to me as a company than you going out and winning trophies.
Yes, sir.
So
Well, and I feel like honestly though, there's been a lot of companies that has forgotten that. Seriously. There's a lot of companies out there that want you to have national titles. You've won so many awards at this show or this show or this show before you can even be considered to be on their team or to represent their company. When in all aspects, I have seen more people like I have a guy down here in my area, and I'm not going to mention his name, but he goes to every show that I go up with, and he puts up, he started from down here in the low 30s to all the way up to the 50s.
Mhm.
He has more of a following than this guy that has a national company that's supporting him.
Mhm.
And, I mean, there's a huge difference in that. And I understand that because it's, I've had to take a step back at that point and understand why. I don't have somebody like beating down my doors like, hey, Jimmy, why are you not running my brand?
Mhm.
But I definitely, it's when it comes right down to it, it's like you say, it's what are you doing for the company? Not what the company is doing for you.
and
And
the
some
more you do
people
for the
find that
companies,
hard to believe.
the more they give to you. Honestly, the more that you prove to a company, and you may end up buying that first system at a 20, 30, 40, 50% discount.
I've
But
been there. Yes.
spending that time with the company, putting time in with them, down the road, hey, they may have a marketing project that they want to do with you, and
But what
done
if
so well through the years that you've proven that you can handle something like that. So
Oh, okay, we're going to use Joe Price for instance, and I'm not going to mention any company's names or anything else. But when he helps bring your company to the American aspect and he helps promote your brand and he stands behind you 100%, at what point in time would you not as a company stand fully behind him? Instead of, oh, you stopped competing for a year, so we're done with you.
oh well, I mean,
I mean,
all of our competitor spots are they're almost like lifetime competitor spots unless you like
I
go kill
mean,
somebody's
I
dog.
seen Joe Price, and I'm not mentioning no names, so don't take this wrong. I love everybody, but I seen Joe help promote a company, bring a company here, and do what they had to do. And Joe was God as long as he was running their brands. He stopped running for a year, maybe a year and a half, because he had personal reasons and things happened. But in that year and a half, they forgot about him and he's nobody. But I mean, and I don't mean to keep bringing his name up, but we all know
Well,
who
he's
Joe
here.
Price is.
Yeah, he's here.
Everybody in the SPO car audio world knows who Joe Price is.
So,
and
so
knows
Travis,
the amazing words or the amazing numbers that he's put up.
yeah. So Travis, another reason that Base Wars hasn't really done a lot as far as sponsorship, we've had Kicker, and we really don't need a whole lot, and they helped us out with our tents. That was our biggest need, and so they just been strong for us. And like I said, a bunch of reasons that not even to do with financial. They've been helped. But let me ask you this, man. And this is just an
Right,
opinion.
mate.
There's no way to put a value on this. But at first, when I went to Kicker, I'm going to tell you my honest belief. My honest belief is I was fabricating with Pro Audio, right? So we were a Kicker dealer and a very good one. And so I went up there, and I really, really think that Kip signed to do a deal with us out of pity, for lack of a better word. Okay.
So I actually have a better word for that. And and me and Kip have talked about this a lot, and not directly in with you guys or anything, but me
Right.
and Kip and Bill and a lot of the people that own the other companies. I've made it a personal agenda to continue talking about this, because I feel like if I don't, things will just continue to get worse,
Mhm.
and things will go away.
I don't
But
mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to anyways.
go ahead.
We got Nathan Munson watching on Jimmy's feed.
Oh,
Hi,
wow.
Nathan.
That-
We appreciate you. I
Yes,
send many of prayers and many of hopes that you fully recover and get past the hiccups that you're in.
Yeah, that's true. He had a hard time, man.
Absolutely. We
Recent-
love you, Nathan. He is a god in the SPL world. I'm
Okay.
just going to say that right now. Nathan Munson is a god in the SPL.
Yeah, I think so.
Indeed. So we've been talking about this for a few years now, but you can ask Excess Power, you can ask Kicker, you can ask Sundown. None of us realistically sponsor shows because it's overly profitable. All of us sponsor shows because we love car audio.
100%.
But we understand things like the pandemic happen and things like 2007 happen, and those are recurring things that will continue to happen. And I don't know if you've noticed, but every time we've had a financial squeeze, car audio has gotten a little bit smaller every single time.
Yeah, but I feel like they're giving back, though. I mean, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Travis.
No, you're good, man.
Within the last year, with the stupid stimulus checks and everything that everybody got, I feel like they should have saved and invested it and put back for their
No.
future, but they
I-
spent it for audio.
I
mean-
completely disagree. I completely disagree, because if everybody would have done that, all of the car audio brands would have slid.
Right.
There was quite a few of them that did, though.
No, yeah,
there's
people that couldn't get stuff or couldn't
Jonathan
develop new
Price.
things had issues.
To
you know?
this day, they can still buy food. They're good.
Yeah,
Yep, as long as you
I
didn't put
mean,
yourself in a
pretty
weird
much.
spot with that, then I don't have any problems. Like that money was meant to stimulate the economy, and I'm sorry,
did.
but we are part of the economy. We employ people here in America, so yeah. Like spend your
Absolutely.
money however you feel like needed to spend it. Now, don't get me wrong, should squirrel a little bit of it away, and it's good. It's
Well,
good to have
I like
money
Melissa's
set
comment.
aside.
Each his own with their own business model, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But anyway, so back
So-
to your sponsorship thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So in these tight squeezes, companies have to make decisions, and sometimes you can't always do what you love, but you can
Right.
always do what makes financial sense. You
Absolutely.
can always do what makes financial sense. So we've had this goal of, without overly corporatizing car audio, what are ways that, because that's not going to work, not for anybody.
No, sir.
Not
As
that
much
I would
as
like
we like
it.
to think it is, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it needs some fit and finish, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about brushing up on marketing skills. We're talking about drawing in crowds. We're not talking about trying to sell the soul of car audio and who gets to make the rules decisions. And no, we're not talking about any of that. The format almost doesn't matter. That people are coming and that new eyes are there is the important part.
Yes.
And that's the big thing that we want to see. But yeah, and it's scary because as a company owner, I realize that, like, if there's a huge downturn in the economy, which we're still kind of teeter-tottering on that. I don't know who pays attention to all the like economy trigger signs and stuff, but
And
we could still go either way.
Yeah.
We're on a knife's edge. But if there's a recession, the first thing people are going to stop spending money on is car audio,
Their
and
luxuries.
then
Right.
whatever is left over when we come back up on an upswing is kind of what's going to be left over. But if things make financial sense for companies, they'll continue to invest in it. So, it's a tricky thing to go about, and it stirs a lot of emotions in people, as you can kind
Michael,
of
you're
see.
into the house.
But
Right.
it's really important that we do talk about this as a community. We've been talking about it behind the scenes for years now, and COVID kind of ruined it coming more to fruition because we all
did.
just we all locked down
did.
for about 2 years.
Mhm.
But we need to pick this conversation back up again as a full community now, because I think the brands have all decided kind of where we're at. It's not like we're threatening to pull all of our sponsorships, but if we really want to like focus on growing this hobby and maintaining it instead of just kind of letting it go wherever it floats, I think those are the basic things that we can do as a community to
Thank you, Joe.
work things out.
Seriously, thank you.
So Travis, check this out, man. And I looked at some numbers the other day. I was hoping to double our and what I'm talking about is runs, and that's not what we're talking about really. Okay.
Mhm.
But so in the last year, prior in comparison to the year prior, which was the year prior was really more so COVID, but both years had COVID kind of going on. Man, we tripled our number of runs from the last year into this year to what
That's
we
awesome.
just ended up in April. We tripled. So
How's your head count?
I didn't look at that.
Okay.
I do know this: we doubled our members.
Awesome. That's a
It's not
great thing still,
quadruple.
because
It's not
the
quadruple.
members are more likely to bring their friends and family. So those are
Yes.
still important statistics.
Well,
So
I would look, but I guess I could say, I just say this, and I don't mind sharing this information because it's right there on the website. But so I think that year prior, I had done close to and I think it was 1,000 runs, which that's not a lot. Okay. But
that's pretty good.
we're
That's
growing.
pretty good.
In the last year, though, we are almost to 3,000. Come the end of this very month right here, we had our last finals 1 year ago at the end of April. I think this would okay. It's over now. Yeah. So I'd have to go back. I haven't completed that document yet, but I'm pretty confident we were almost at 3,000 runs.
1,000 of them on my side. No, I'm
Awesome.
just
Probably
joking.
so, yeah.
I'm just joking.
So anyway, so I guess what I'm saying is during that downturn, that COVID and all that stuff, that's what we grew.
Yes, 100%.
So I guess what I asked you, what I was about to ask you earlier is, man, what to us, and I'm not asking you to put a number on this, it's just conversation, right? But when I'm talking to a sponsor, what is 100 shows worth? Let's take Kicker for example. I'm proud to have them as a sponsor, and I'm proud that they took a chance and they helped me with those tents, right? And the benefit to Kicker I see for us that we do for them is we go to a lot of car shows, right?
Yes.
And it's a big old Kicker tent there.
So one of the big things that I would keep track of is not only your show attendance, but your entire show attendance. Say we hit Slamology, we hit this place, we hit that place, we hit the festival show. Like I said, our taco festival has almost as many people go through it as Slam. That's not all car people, but that's crazy.
I would challenge you this. Go look at Kicker's what do you call it? Their events.
Their events. It's all base wars.
Is it?
They are
all
yeah, we do them as a events
sponsor.
Whatever, not sponsor, but they co-event everything with us. Everything if Bill remembers to go and approve it, But, so they know the number of shows we're doing. This year I think we could crowd 120 something. Next year I'm shooting for 250. This year
Nice.
we did it with 3 or 4 people. Next year we have closer to 10, so it ought to be doable.
100. I mean, seriously, I want to say the last 2 or 3 years, Billy has really put a lot of blood, heart, sweat, tears, everything into Base Wars, and it has really paid off. I mean, seriously, I've stayed behind it for the last couple of years. There's been quite a few other competitors and judges, and once you run Base Wars, you'll understand. We're not about all the rules, and I'm not talking any trash about any other
No,
organization.
and I completely agree there. Like,
But it's about bringing the fun back to the lanes.
Yep.
Oh, you got beat by somebody that's got 210s? So what? Go get louder. Have fun. Don't cry about it. Don't. I mean, it is what it is. Bring the fun back.
well, and
Seriously.
that's super important. Like,
I-
not that I detract from anybody that likes to do DB drag, USAC,
Right,
Midwest Finals. I've done it. I've had fun at those events, but I'll tell you what is not fun: sinking in the time and effort that all of us do into these builds, and
They
then
don't
being told within a month after finals that our builds we got to completely reach. If you told race car guys they got to completely rebuild like their home cars. I'm not talking about F1 drag cars and all that crap that they put a brand new car on the track every time. No, I'm talking about your hobbyist dragsters. If you told them, every season you got to completely rebuild your car because it's not up to snuff, yeah, they'd be gone. So I think it's crazy that we ask for a similar level of investment. Not the same, don't get me wrong. Like, some of these guys got a couple $1,000s. Some of them have $50,000 to $100,000 in their build, which is enough to build a nice race car.
Yes, sir.
Like to do those things, and like, you either love Hank or you don't. But
Yeah.
Hank is the perfect example of someone they like fucking with. Every time that man goes and does something, they change the damn rules on him.
2019, I actually was in the same class as Hank. He beat me by 4 dB, and I knew he was going to beat me, but I didn't care. I went to finals anyway. I was hoping he would have blew some subwoofers, some amplifiers, something, and give me a little bit more comparable edge to him. But in that same sentence, I knew he was going to beat me, but I was proud. At that point in time, I was proud to say I took second place to Hank Veach.
Yeah, Hank is one of the.
Absolutely.
And look, I don't know him well. I've only met him once, but from other people talking, he is one that is just very good at this sport.
Oh, he
absolutely.
spends countless hours in devotion behind the sport.
Yeah,
Hank's got a bit of a
amazing.
mouth on him, but
And
a lot of us
RP.
do. A lot of us do. But
well, hey Travis,
they fucking know what they're doing.
That mouth gets him followers, also does.
Oh yeah, no.
It does.
But
It does.
yeah, no, Hank will be the first one to complain about how many people don't want to sponsor him. Hank goes a little far on time to time,
Beyond.
which is why he doesn't get approached as much as he would like. But he still gets pretty good deals on. Like, don't let him bullshit you. He's getting pretty good deals on stuff. So I'm not worried about it.
Definitely.
So, but I mean, we've even worked with Hank in the past, like, but
RV's a good man to have in
Yeah.
his corner, though.
yep,
I mean,
RP's
let's
a
be
great
truthful.
guy. And here's the thing, RP has a shop, and he makes his money day in, day out on doing installs,
But right here, that says it all right there.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever met RP. I met Hank at the Sundown Show at a little event after Sundown, but I've never met RP. Now, who is he?
RP is the guy that runs the shop.
Yeah, the shop that they're always in and testing in and doing
Okay,
work.
so they have a shop and RP owns that. What is it called?
Yeah.
It's called RP.
Brains.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna
My
shut up.
brain's farting right
Travis,
now, and
it's on you,
I'm even
it's on-
embarrassed. I'm even
It's on you,
embarrassed that I
Travis.
don't. Sound Evolution. No, that's my other dealer. That's Jake
No,
Chesty.
no.
Hey.
Sound Connection. No, that's
Sound check.
Ah,
Is it sound check?
check.
No.
Sound check. Haha,
Sound
yes.
check.
Sound check.
Sound check. There you go.
All the time. Right.
Yeah. There's too many
Sound
sound
waves.
shops.
The team. I didn't know.
I started ringing off all my vendors.
Look, here you go. I
Yeah.
mean, he's true.
Yeah, I know. I think
But,
I've been beaten a handful
mean,
of times, but it takes.
What about
it takes-
Alan Dante over in? I mean, everybody forgets about Alan Dante. That man
Question.
is amazing.
Well,
Question. I saw
Kyle
that
Rutherford,
he was out. What's up with that?
who? He said
Out.
he was out for
You got-
the last year, but he's coming back next year.
rules hit him again. Rules
Oh,
change.
Yes,
Something
rules
in the
hit him.
rules change. Now
Yes.
it's like there's controversy over which continent has legitimate scores and which doesn't. I'm not wading into that. All these guys are loud AF.
I want to see everybody sit in Kyle Rutherford's vehicle this year with the
I
door
don't sit in
closed.
anything.
With the door.
I don't even
Yeah,
sit in my
no.
own builds, dude.
With a door on it. Sit in
I don't
Kyle's
even
vehicle.
sit in my own vehicles.
I'm not interested in. I'll sit beside it.
I will say though, and I love you, Travis, but you never tapped me out.
Did I ever try?
Yes.
That's probably why you didn't. Because I sat in that cube and
I
you
was in
did
the
not.
cube and you did not tap me out.
You
Well,
sat up
when
in
was
that
it? Because
cube, you're getting out.
the second slam that we did with it was not as good in my opinion.
Rainology.
Yeah, Rainology was not that great. And then when Hunter and
You
I
had
went
a
up
lot
and
of
did work on
battery
it,
powers.
we metered it in December. So it was like 30 degrees outside. The batteries were frozen. The batteries actually shut the amps off.
Mhm.
But it was really low power. Yeah, don't run your batteries when they're frozen. But we cracked off a 69.9 with the whole front end the way it was, and
What did the cube actually do though? I mean,
when we
you
were
guys
demoing it for
said-
people, we really only played it at like a 63
No.
to a 66.
but what did it actually do? I mean,
16
tell me garage
69.9.
scores.
Hey, man.
69.9 was the loudest we ever got out of it.
Travis,
69.9 garage.
When I was over in that hole, dude, it was not a 63.
Well,
Oh,
so
it was
here's
closer to a
here's the big
65.
difference though. Everybody recognizes a 63 on the dash or in the kick, not where your body is.
And my body
Like-
was sitting in that corner
Yeah.
and it hurt.
So when
It's not a 63.
take that meter and move it off the window
Yeah.
and pull it back to your body, and it's
Yeah.
that whole hot spot was a 63. It wasn't just
Spot was
on.
not a 63. That was upward 67.
No.
I guarantee it.
But
You-
you gotta sit in that little pocket.
You
in
might
the
have
back
gotten juiced.
all the way
So
back.
if you
Yeah.
got juiced, yeah, you got a 66, and a 66 made it feel like your chest was caving in.
I thought I was worried I wouldn't be able to walk out.
A lot of
Again.
not a lot, but we did a Icky Boom, and I think you were there for Icky Boom, weren't you, Jimmy? That first
Yes,
Icky
sir.
Boom that we brought it to.
Yes, sir.
The first like 10 demos we gave, 3 people
Everybody was
passed out.
dying.
They were literally passing out. So we were like, between the rave and all the booze, maybe we shouldn't be full tilting these people.
But that was
So-
such an amazing weekend. Seriously.
Oh yeah, the idea.
Are you
that we
guys
had a
coming back
rave-
this year?
I might come up. I don't know.
Please.
When is it?
It's I want to say it's the 19th and the 11th. I might
I'm
be
planning
wrong.
to fly up to that one.
Of July.
Okay.
Maybe.
Please.
I'll talk
You
with the
guys
old
don't
lady.
even have to sponsor. Just come up.
Well, we'll sponsor
Steve.
it. I love sponsoring shows, especially like that. Like that's the kind of event that we have always enjoyed working with because it's not
It's a
a
two-day
car
show.
audio show. Yeah, it's a huge
two-day
show.
and a camping show as well. If you guys have not been up to the 712 Boom Show in
Absolutely.
Iowa, I'm telling you, it's not Slambology. It's not some of the biggest
It's different.
shows,
It's
but
different.
it is one of the best
still at the
family-filled
track?
fun show all weekend long that you'll ever have.
Is it still at the track?
No,
It's
no,
in the cow field, man.
it's in a golf field.
Golf.
It's
What
at
about-
the Icky Nickel, where it's been for the last 2 or 3 years. I'm telling you, it is amazing. It's
Man,
at
I
a
missed
bar.
the track. I missed
It's
the
at
track.
a bar.
Y'all have cows up there?
Here?
Oh, there
Not
is, yeah.
anymore.
Well,
When I lived in Iowa, we did. I don't think there's any in Nevada.
No, I mean in where the show is there cows?
Oh,
No, sir. No, sir. I do miss the track, Travis, but in that same sense, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I miss the music that was DJing probably until 4 o'clock in the morning.
oh shit,
Okay.
dude! I love that.
Yeah, I know you
We
do.
had the
okay?
DJ on the cube.
The EPMD music, which we
Yeah,
all
man.
need. We're not even going to mention who in here. We all know who loves the E EPMD.
I
Seriously.
got a video of oh my god, the name's slipping. My damn.
Remember about 4 years ago, the storm when everybody's tent got tore up?
Yep.
That
Yep.
was amazing. That was
There
the
was-
weekend.
We had a Ronald McDonald dancing on a
Yes.
pole on the side of the cube at 2:30 in the morning, and we're just letting it rip to Conrank's like unreleased music. It was legitimately one of the like coolest things that I've ever done. So
It was ridiculous, but it was a great show. That storm was insane. Yes, Stevie remembers that storm. It was like Armageddon. Everybody made fun of me, called me old because I was staying in a hotel room.
yes, it was Mr. McChad.
Until the next day, they was like, "I'm so jealous."
But yeah, man, like that show is in probably my top 10 shows, maybe even my top 5, out of the hundreds of shows that I've been to. So yeah, definitely up there. But like the track thing kind of was cool because we got a lot of people coming over from that show, kind of like we did at the Taco Festival.
Yes,
kind of
sir.
switch back into business
You're right.
mode. Go from dancing at 2:30.
We need Galen up in there for that EPMD
But-
music, though.
Yeah, like as a sponsor, that kind of stuff. If you guys could do a show at a drag track,
I do every year.
and you probably get a bunch of people from the track coming over to check the cars out, right?
It's kind of 50-50.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the tracks don't understand if they're charging you $30 to get in,
Mhm.
and then I'm going to charge you $30 to run.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, and it depends on which crowd, which crowd you're going to too. Because if you guys start picking up some of those, racing guys, when those racing guys look at a system, they look at what we do and they go, "Dang, that's cheap. You mean we can do cool shit like that for how much? You gonna make it there, Jimmy? Somebody go check on Jimmy."
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Hey, let me tell you a funny is I saw a TikTok video of Colt Ford. You know who Colt Ford is, Travis?
Colt Ford.
He's a country rapper, if you will.
Ford is amazing. Although,
All So anyway, so I saw this TikTok video of him, and there's one of those slimmer kicker Bluetooth. Dang, I got a BF 400, but I think there's
BF 100. There's a BF 100. I got one in the kitchen.
The 100. All right, and it's there on the table. So I sent it to Bill, and I'm like, "Hey man, Colt Ford's on this video with some kicker product. You might could use this.
No, he goes, "I know."
I
Guaranteed.
He didn't.
Oh,
know.
he didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
he didn't. So I saw a post sometime, a few days later. It was, I don't know what it was, but it was Colt Ford and Kip, and there was that very same little kicker unit on the table right there that they were giving to him. And so I said in that time, I said, "Bill, this is where Colt got he got it from you guys, man."
yes, sir.
an unexpected kicker advertisement that I saw, and I won't go into any details, but nobody think that kicker paid out the nose to do this. But I was playing. Gosh, I'm gonna have to look it up. I like playing some racing games sometimes.
Do what, Travis?
I like to play racing games sometimes.
Yeah.
And what was it? Grid Legends. On Grid Legends, if you go and race, there are kicker banners everywhere. Everywhere, dude. Like I saw it and I text Bill and I was like, "How much money did you guys have to spend to get
No doubt.
that?" And he was like, "Meh." They contacted us and asked if we wanted to be involved because they just wanted to put some cool stuff in.
Right.
But
That's
you
cool.
know, stuff that you wouldn't think about being advertising.
It's all. It all
It's
matters.
important because just building the brand recognition, and getting that out in front of more eyes. Even the fact, if you guys have 100 people there competing, but if they brought 100 to 200 people with them, or drew a crowd of 300 people, those metrics start to change quite a bit because they're
Right.
also more likely to buy.
Yes.
So uh, our guys in New York do street battles. They don't put mics in anything.
Man, we need to
And
talk about that. We talked about it once before, and then I forget. We
I
need
I,
to do
I think
that.
that would make an SQ side, quote unquote, um,
Thanks, Jeff.
for Base Wars. I think it would be a really interesting format for you guys to explore. But
Me too.
those kind of shows, they're head to head. So, and they advertise it on their social medias and this and that. Every competitor's, pushing it. And, we went out to one of these guys' shows, and it's a non-sanctioned event, and there's 3,000 people here. Like,
Hmm.
this is just a car event, and there's
Right.
thousands of people here. And one of the ways they got it out is they worked with one of the local radio stations, and one of the local radio stations made it like their DJ day and the car
Jason,
face off.
Well,
Jason actually took a show over for me this year that was actually at in Nebraska or Oklahoma. I'm sorry. That was a local racetrack show with all the Midwest. I apologize. I can't even. The Midwest, the streetcar outlaw guys.
Mhm.
There's a lot of them guys going to be there, and that's a really, really big show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of a crossover. You get the people that run the streetcar side of it to be able to venture over. And last year it was okay for me, and I'm
And
not going to lie and say it wasn't. But
how
you
the
know,
event is laid out is super important, and this is one of
yes,
like Donnie and Denise's worst nightmares every year, is how to lay out the traffic flow to appropriate like the amount of eyes, and like not just eyes but willing eyes, because by the time you make it to the end of vendor row, are you as interested in things as by the time you started it?
you
yes,
can
Probably not.
you could say that when you walk through any of the parking lots at Slamology. You see the first 10 vehicles, you're like, wow.
oh, yes.
But when you get to the
100%.
end, you realize everybody's got 818.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're numb,
So, answer
The
the
dog
question real
crazy.
quick on SQ. Hi-Fi, all of our new NXT line is really focused on daily applications and lower power applications, starting at 800 watt standalone, going up to 2500. So, those are the perfect batteries for the SQ guys to maintain a higher constant voltage and keep their 1,000 to 2,000 watt stereos from dimming their lights and kind of making voltage fluctuations in their systems. And those start at $279.
How awesome is that?
I'm out of money halfway through.
Fits in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
And I weighed one the other day. Like, I had a weight estimate on it of like 2.2 pounds because that's where I thought I was going to come out at. I was wrong.
You told me 3.
Yeah, well, I was overshooting when I was talking to other people, but I had my own like internal estimate.
Right.
But I always like to kind of over deliver for people. But
Absolutely.
it came out at 1 pound 10 ounces.
Wow.
But for
Yeah.
the voltage that puts out is amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you would compare this to a full bank of caps, which costs you, I think the 6-packs are going for $350 to $400, and then cased units are going for $500-600 a piece now. So
More than that.
and you're only getting about 0.8 amp hours worth of energy storage there. With ours, you're getting about 4 amp hours. So you get about 5 times the amount of reserve than you do with a capacitor product.
Right.
And compared to like a lithium battery, which nobody has lithium batteries in this price range because the natural charging that's left over on a car, which tends to be between 40 and 80 amps, will kill any small lithium battery. It'll overheat them.
But like Greg Corbin says, we can put a couple hundred of them in my truck.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, and
I don't
go
think
ahead.
you'll need that many.
well, no, actually, like I've been talking to like people like Steve Duncan and stuff, and like if we do something with Steve, it'll be like 110 to 120 of the 2Ks if we do 2Ks. We probably won't do 2Ks, but yeah, it would be like 120 of those. It's a big ass bank.
Yes.
You know, these are not designed for huge systems. They can be used for huge systems.
When's the next battery coming out? That's
The
all I'm gonna say.
6K is about two. Well, so we got a. Which one is my question there? Like,
No, I'm gonna shut
I-
up. I just
I-
said the next one.
I can. So the next NXT drops within the next month and a half, 2 months. We've got a 6K that I'm just verifying the parts on, and then that's going to come out in the $600 range. But the next battery, because this is a capacitor, but the next battery will probably be next year sometime. And I am hoping to launch either the silicon anode LFP technology we've been working with, or we've
what
been
does
working with
LFP stand for?
lithium iron phosphate. So it's the same kind, similar.
Hold on, I'm a little slow.
Lithium iron
Yeah,
phosphate.
LFP.
What does the F stand for?
Fe is iron.
E.
muriatic
L-
chemical-
Phosphate.
Yeah, LiFePO 4, or it's LiFePO 4.
Okay, LFE. I'm thinking. Oh,
Yep.
all right, I got you.
Yep. So we shorten it down to LFP.
Yeah.
Um,
LFE. Okay.
that's what
Yes.
everybody, for the most part, knew for the longest time in car audio. All of our K2 batteries are LFP.
LFP. Yes.
All of our current batteries are LFP, except for the NXTs, which aren't batteries. But the
What do you
difference
mean?
here.
Well, hold on. Before you go on, what do you mean they're not batteries?
Well, they are. They don't get shipped into the United States under a lithium battery code because they're not lithium batteries. That's another important aspect about them. But
They come in that
they
cardboard box.
huh?
That cardboard box is amazing.
Oh yeah, they do come in cardboard boxes. But
Yes, sir.
big stacks of them. Jimmy's. I think I've sent pictures of them to Jimmy.
Yes,
But
sir.
they ship under an asymmetrical capacitor because they are, and what that means is one side of the capacitor is different from the other side. So these are
Hold on. How is it different?
well, no, with his comment, it's pretty damn close if you drop the lead acid AGM part.
Yes.
So they
AGM
do
part.
actually take some lithium salts and they're put into the electrolyte and inserted in a minority into the anode, but it's not enough lithium to constitute a lithium battery. Most of it has still the internal structure of a capacitor. Because if you look at a
How is
capacitor,
one different than the other? I don't. That's what I don't.
so lithium batteries store energy chemically,
Mhm.
where and so do lead acid batteries, just different chemicals. Capacitors store energy statically, like if you're rubbing your feet on the floor. So, and what they do to do that, if you cut open an EDLC, which is a supercapacitor, electric double layer cathode, you look at it and it's a bunch of tinfoil with either a liquid or a solid separator in between the two layers of tinfoil.
Right.
And what it's doing is it's given surface area in between there to build up a charge. Like if you rub your foot on the ground, you can only build up however much your surface or your foot is contacting. Right. So yeah, to kind of give you a visual. So if you open up a lithium battery, it looks extraordinarily the same. Except on one side we have in a EDLC we have activated carbon on both sides, and that's what the electrons move back and forth into. In a lithium battery,
Hold on. Is that carbon in between the foil sheets, or is that carbon the foil sheet?
no, that carbon is coated onto the sheets, and then you have a
Onto the sheet.
separator, a liquid or solid separator in between the two. So, and if
Okay.
you shake like a capacitor, usually you can hear them kind of have slosh around a little
You
bit.
hear it kind of slosh a little.
Yeah. So what most of us use are not dry capacitors. They're either liquid or semi-liquid. There's somehow a difference there, but anyways, if you chop a lithium battery in half, it looks, if you were to just look at it with your naked eye, it looks very, very similar, except there's usually one copper sheet in there and then one aluminum sheet. And that's because of the chemical resistances and all the batteries and everything that's going on. How the chemicals that we stick in a battery are not the same as, and if we put certain chemicals together with certain metals, they just eat them apart. They become soluble in them, basically. So that's why
Christopher
designing
Munson.
batteries is so hard. But where this kind of comes in is, you open it up. Oh, excuse me. A lithium battery has lithium on one side, and it's not a pure lithium. It's a lithium alloy of some sort. But they've got lithium on one side, and then they've got activated carbon on the other, and then you send lithium ions from one side back to the other, and then back again when you recharge it. And you guys should see it. My hands are going all over the place. I'm demonstrating where things are going. You just can't see me. But so then we get back to the lithium capacitors, and there we've got activated carbon on both sides, but they have slightly doped the positive side with a small amount of lithium content, and we're talking less than 1%.
I mean, I hate to bring this up, but I mean, seriously, Joe had a perfect comment there. How do they compare to the C-Max?
So they're safer than lithium-ion batteries in a couple ways. So now,
lithium-ion batteries is C-Max, right?
C-Max, well, that's going to refer to C-Max. That's going to refer to LFP batteries. That's going to refer to any lithium battery, realistically. Any lithium battery that's on the market is a lithium-ion battery. You can try and tell me LiPo and this and that. Those are still lithium-ion batteries. Unless we're talking about lithium metal batteries, we're using lithium ions to transport energy back and forth. So there's a lot of marketing that got mixed into the science side of all this, and it's really convoluted. But lithium-ion batteries have a lower safety rating for kind of two reasons. The heat that they can be taken up to before they start to become volatile, and how much heat they're able to generate while they are going bad. So, yeah. So on your typical lithium cell, the maximum continuous heat rating you're going to see is about 160 degrees, which if you ever see anybody ask about an under the hood battery from me, which is why I immediately go, no. Even if you have an AGM battery, delete it, put that in back. Yep. Every single time, move your stock battery in back. Like, as long as it's not a lead acid and it's going to vent in your trunk and ruin your carpet, move your battery in back all the time. That's always.
But what if you have a vehicle that hasn't been charged in 4 months and your batteries are dead and you have battery deletes and you can't get in your vehicle?
What do you mean? You have a battery delete. You can still jump from under the hood.
That's me.
You can still pop the hood, bro. You can still jump from up front.
I know.
Like you can still have a dedicated jump post. Like,
I have the LFOs in, or the stupid. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I have the batteries in the back with battery deletes up front, and I've let my battery dead.
Yeah, you need to slowly recharge that from the front.
Beyond that, but how can I unlock my vehicle to get into the back?
Well, you don't. You don't need to unless it's isolated. Is it isolated?
All on that one battery bank.
Yeah, but you can charge off the alternator even if you had to. Put one charge post on the alternator.
How can you get into the vehicle if it's locked up though?
Well, I don't know. Break a window.
Turn the key.
Yeah, what's wrong with your car? Did you shave all your keyholes off?
You can't get into the key because it's locked with the alarm.
Well, how's the alarm going to
Yeah.
go off that's dead? Jimmy, I don't think you've thought this through all the way.
I think he might have
I
had
get-
the extra Miller
My
Lite.
vehicle out front, I'm not gonna lie, is completely dead, and it will not unlock because the alarm is armed and the battery is dead and will not open the doors.
Well,
Open,
bust the window
put your
then.
key in the door in the hole and unlock it. Let the alarm.
I don't have keyholes.
You don't have keyhole?
No, sir.
Hey, Jim.
Oh yeah, like I'd bust out. I'd go check it. Go see which window is the cheapest.
Right.
Oh,
Go
the
find
bad.
out which window is the cheapest and put a brick through it.
Or Slim Jim.
Bro, you fold windows you fold front windows all the time. Who cares if you pop
You
one of
need
the
a
side
new
ones
windshield
out?
anyway, right? Just
Yeah.
take it out.
The front
Shit,
windows are cheaper than the side windows. Seriously.
Sometimes they are. Yep. Sometimes they are.
I still
But-
need that double windshield, though. I mean, seriously.
Oh
So,
man, those are such a
Travis,
big pain in the ass.
I got a question, man. What do you mean by a doped carbon layer? What do you
So-
mean? Doped?
Instead of
What's the
having the
in-between?
lithium alloy, be the main positive of the battery, it's still a carbon, a pure carbon anode there, but they have pre-inserted basically through kind of sprinkling lithium salt in there. They've increased
Go ahead.
they've increased the
One more.
ability of its energy storage. pretty
One
much.
more. And if you don't get this, if you don't know this, that's cool. I just wonder.
Mhm.
What do you mean a lithium salt?
Well, most
Like
lithium
literally
is salt.
LiCl2?
I don't know that it's Cl2. I'd have to look up what it.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
okay. And I could be wrong too.
I don't know what the exact chemical makeup of it
Yeah.
is in this instance, but the
See, don't
most
let Billy
lithium
fool
most
you.
lithium
He
is in
smart.
salt form. Like, so when we talk about lithium mining, and people a lot of times they'll show a strip mine, which you can strip mine lithium, but it's super inefficient. What they do is they pump water down into these mines, and then they bring the water back up, and then they pour it out onto a field and let it evaporate.
And the lithium's left there?
Yep. And then they clean that up, and then they refine that powder. So and
I have
everybody
an
talks
alarm
about.
on it, Justin. Sorry.
Oh,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
But there's a lot of lithium salt in the ocean too. Problem is, it's not super high quality. So it's what's in the earth, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that these are like ancient oceans that we had that we're kind of mining into here. And that's kind of how it got to where it came to be there. But most lithium mining, it looks like a salt brine field.
Yeah. And they're
So-
huge.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely massive. They're usually out in the middle of deserts.
Yeah.
So that they don't usually harm much. But when we're talking lithium
Don't
batteries,
you
lithium
guys
isn't the.
have the largest in the country, a little bit north of you?
It is, but it's not operational. I
Right,
don't.
right,
It's defunct. Like, somebody needs to buy it and make it work. But
Right.
in North America, yes, the recent largest brine field is in the Americas, is in Chile, and that just got bought out by Lithium Americas.
Later.
So,
I'm just kidding.
no, China was trying real hard to get it, and
They fell behind.
Contemporary Amprex actually lost the bid to Lithium Americas. So that was surprising when all that played out. So,
America is coming back around and not trying to be this whole U.S.
oh no, here's
No,
we
Listen,
have to.
America
We have
is
some of the
coming back
smartest-
around.
We
It
have
isn't-
the smartest politicians in the world. They all bought stock in lithium mines.
Uh-huh.
I don't know,
Yes.
6 months
Oh,
ago.
yeah. No, absolutely. And here's the thing. We need to be I'm not saying we need to make everything here, but we need the ability to make everything that we need here. Even if we're not using it to the fullest capacity, we need the ability to make lithium batteries. We need the ability to refine our own gas. Like, we need the ability to do all of these things, at least for a certain period of time. Because if COVID showed us anything, is that,
Right.
we don't one
Yes,
like
you
we're
can't
used to
depend
being
on
on top,
anybody.
and we're not used to getting prioritized. But China prioritized us and our shipments, and we didn't like that. You know, we're not
Yeah,
America in general is used to being like, no, you're waiting. But this time it happened to us, and I think that kicked a lot of politicians in the ass, going, "Oh fuck, that was an uncomfortable experience." Um,
100%. Yes, sir.
so going back to batteries, the differences between these and CMAX though, the temperature rating is 25 degrees higher. So you can take these batteries and operate them up to, or not batteries, these capacitors up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. I still do not recommend them to be used in under the hood applications, but they have a lot higher temperature resistance. And compared to our old LFP cells, I do some old torture tests, and they actually stay cooler under their rated load versus our old rated load. So it gets to about 130 degrees in my test environment at rated. Um, and this is testing for about 45 minutes. This isn't an instant heat up or anything like this. But and then I took some of our old LFP cells from the K2 batteries, because those are some of our most abuse resistant cells. And we cycled those, and in the same amount of time, they got to about 145 degrees, which is the top end of where you're really supposed to be kind of taking those. So, and I don't know how many people I have that still have their green 80s and cased 80s. There's Kyle here in the stream.
I know a couple of people that
Yeah.
actually still run them. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
So if those where those have a lot lower rating, those are actually rated at about a 150.
It was like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So if those are rated at that, and we're not even able to get these up towards their rating, right there in and of themselves, this heat generation in the pack is a lot lower, and that's the cells and how we've implemented them.
Yes, sir.
There's two kind of things in there, because we aren't buying packs from someone and then slapping them in our case. We're actually welding these batteries together in-house with busing systems that we designed.
Are you using spot welders or
Yeah, resistant spot welders.
resistant? Okay.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So, and right now we use their 1,000 amp models, but I will be bumping up to 5,000 amp models so we can do some light copper welding. But yeah, these are fully rebuilt from the ground up. We manufacture the cases in house. Busing is actually manufactured in house. Parts of busing are manufactured in house. There needs to be an asterisk on that, because Toolmaker does the rest of the busing. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, we did a lot of work there. But as far as power goes, 30,000 watts, I'll say at 75% efficiency. So 30K divided by 0.75 is 40,000. I should have known that off the top of my head. I'm dumb. 40,000 watts. Yeah, as soon as I saw the number, I was like, so 40,000. Say we want to maintain voltage of 13. So the average voltage over time on these is a lot higher than a traditional battery. So when we do our ratings, we don't do them at 12 flat, because none of our customers are going to be running at 12 flat. We do our numbers at 13.5 because that's the average voltage that somebody's going to maintain when running rated. So you need about 3,000 amps worth of battery, 3,000 amps worth of constant discharge, which if you were using something like the 6K, you're talking about like 16 of those minus alternator. So
but I feel like
that's the thing. Running 30K, like I feel like people, like amplifiers A are too cheap now, and B, like
I feel like we've jumped off the whole subject. I mean, I do appreciate your batteries and all the technology and everything that you guys have put behind it, but the real aspect of the show tonight is these beautiful wire technology that you guys have.
Oh no, I was answering a question from Kyle.
I know, but I wanted to get back on path. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Well, I have a question for you, Travis.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have 12 Kicker 12s. They're about 10 years old. I think they take around 1,500 watts each. L7s, right?
Some S's.
Something like that. Right? So I'm just to put them in. Since I have seen you, I have purchased a little titanium. What do you call it? Thing? A Ford Transit Connect van,
Cool.
right? To haul the base horse tents and stuff, and that's what I travel around the country with now when I have to travel to do the shows. You'll see it in Las Vegas,
Cool.
right? I
Does
hope
it
by
have a
the end.
C-Max battery in there?
Do I now?
Does it have a C-Max battery?
No, got a regular battery. So my question is this: for those 12s, I'm thinking of a Salt 12 or 2, right? Due to the voltage of a Salt, right? You familiar with those amps?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Salts are 15 volt compatible, but not a 16 if I remember right.
well, so I want to go. It needs to be very dependable. I don't want to be traveling across New Mexico when it's 110 and
Mhm.
there's nothing but a frog looking at me, maybe in the middle of the desert,
Yep.
and I don't want to break down.
Mhm.
So I'm not real big on like a 400 amp alternator.
Yep.
So that's what I'm fixing to ask you.
So
I'm
salt.
assuming that those amps may be the best for me to run due to their low voltage, let's call it technology, right? I'm not sure, right?
Well, yes. I mean, kind of depends. I like the SIA
Which is what?
myself. The SIA from Sundown.
Uh-huh.
They took the SFB and basically gutted it and uh rebuilt all the protection circuits and beefed up places that they need to. So where the FFBs were really getting like sketchy at or below 1 ohm, and I don't know about at. I'll retract that part of the statement, but at least below 1 ohm, they were super sketchy. It was like the number one point of failure was people tried to wire them low.
Okay.
The SFBs can be wired super low and not have a problem. I think they start to retard how much power they put out. So
Well,
they back off how much power they put out when they start going too low.
well, listen, the reality is, yeah, man, I want these to be loud, but and I'm going to compete probably with it in the other orgs that are there just for fun. But see what kind of number I can get because I like numbers. But I don't plan to run no half ohm. I planned on listening to music for 2,000 miles on the way over there.
And that's still even where the SIA super shines because it does about the same power at 2 ohms as it does 1 ohm.
That's me.
And it's a small footprint. It's a full bridge amp, so it's nice and small. I haven't heard anybody having any problems with noise on them. I don't know if we got anybody in the chat that runs SIA, but I've heard nothing but people happy with them. It's kind of their smart technology, and that's actually what it stands for: Sundown Intelligent Amplifier. Yeah.
Well, I'll definitely look at them.
And the price point's a lot better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good too. But as part of a design, I'm starting at the front, like with the alternator. What can I physically put in? I know this is not your forte. I figured I reached to somebody else about that, but because I don't know what the van will actually hold alternator wise,
Yeah, and you'd have to talk to an actual alternator company. But in my experience, I prefer smaller alternators. Whoever, I mean, we work with CES we've worked with in the past, and Auto Tech with Colton Hendel.
Everybody tells us the smaller alternators last longer.
Yeah, 180 to 220s.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: if you tell me any different, I'm going to question what you know about alternators because we're not beefing up the case. We're not beefing up the case, and the number one thing that kills alternators is heat. And the more power you pull out of it, the hotter it gets. So
100%.
If you've figured out a way to pull power and you're using superconductors or some shit, I don't know. But for a daily driver, 180 to 225, maybe you go to 250. I don't know, but maybe they'll give you an extra fan to put on it. I don't know.
So we'll have some batteries in there that will take care of these amps that we're going to have. And that's actually my question. I'm not going to go no 400 or 350 amp alternator. I'm
Mhm.
happy at under 200. That's where I think is solid. How much battery do you
Well,
suggest now? And I'm going to say I don't know what amps yet, because you just gave me an option I didn't even know about. But I want to double the power that those speakers would take, and then just back off of it and be bulletproof.
yeah, absolutely. No, I'm usually in the same exact train. So, and realistically, from what we've talked about, I think we're talking about 12 to 15K here.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't even be turning it up that much. But here's a question I have: are you ever planning on using that truck to power anything? Are you gonna
Yes,
want to use that as a mobile power station ever?
that would be awesome if I could use it as generator.
So what I would do is I would
That's-
change the idea from super consumer products, although we could add some in too. Like we could add NXT in to help deal with pulse load. But what we may want to look at doing is doing energy storage batteries and doing an oversized bank. So if you wanted to go to a show and run all weekend off an inverter, you'd
Without
have
my
that.
generator.
Yeah, you would have that option.
That would
I
be-
So
did see.
that
that's
would be
what
very cool.
that's what I would look at.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like me and you're gonna have to have another conversation about that.
No,
There's
and,
a lot.
and we
I
do
mean-
systems like that. We're putting together a bid for the telecommunications vans for ESPN, and they have a lift gate that they need to use while they're disconnected from power, and we're putting together a system for that. So definitely, like power systems are super cool, and it's more than just a battery. So
Well, so saying we didn't want to do that, and we were
I-
we've
I've
got
used-
probably it looks like 18,000 people watching the show right now. So if those people were interested, how much battery power do you think would be good? Put on
I
a
would
200 amp alternator to power 12 to 15,000 watts on 12 L7 kicker 12s.
I would look at probably 4 to 6 of our new NXT 6Ks. They're rated for 2,500 watts standalone. And a lot of times I don't even include alternator in to the discharge side of things, especially when it's a smaller alternator, because it's really not doing much. It's more there for recharge. So, but that's what I would kind of look at. I would look at a
Your
handful of those.
alternator recharges your system.
Yeah, anybody that tells you your alternator isn't a battery charger, that applies. I hate to make this comparison. It does that saying doesn't apply to lithium batteries and caps. It does apply to
Opened up a
AGM
whole
and lead
new
acid.
worms. I'm sorry.
There's a very easy reason behind that, and it's AGM batteries charge slow, and they only take a small charge off the alternator, whereas
I bet this
lithium
has
batteries
something
and
to
caps
do-
will rip everything they can from it, and they'll top right up and be done. So
I bet this has something to do with that battery internal resistance I spoke of earlier.
100%. Yep. And
Heard that.
if you hook up your Group 31 battery to your 300 amp alt, it's never going to pull 300 amps off that
Right.
alternator. No, you're going to see it pulling 10 to 20 amps off that thing most of the time.
Maybe.
You get it real low, you might spike it to 100, but here's the thing. If you put 100 amps into that AGM battery, it's going to start fucking hissing at you. It's going to be
Right.
angry.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's going to explode, but it's trying to, okay?
Right.
But
It's gonna swell.
your lithium battery, you put a 100 amp hour lithium battery on a 300 amp alt, it's gonna pull 300 amps if you're giving it 2000 RPM. If you're only giving it idle, yeah, you'll only pull 100. You're gonna max out your alternator with your lithium battery though. Whereas with your AGM battery, you're not gonna max that alt out, and it's just not, and it also doesn't charge as efficiently. So where I put 1,000 watts into it, if I discharge 1,000 watts, I have to put like 1,200 watts back into an AGM battery to get it charged back up. Whereas a lithium battery, I'm putting in 1,001. Not even that, because it's 99.999% efficient. So, but yeah, it takes an AGM battery vastly longer to recharge. So when you pull up to your driveway and you turn your car off, it's not done charging. basically.
No.
And you
That's
do
where
that time
everybody
and time
flips
and
it
time
off.
again. Yeah,
And
and then they don't throw it on a charger, and then they wonder why the son of a bitch only lasts them 6 months.
that's what I was going to say. For those of us that don't know, when you pull a vehicle into and out of a shop for a month and the battery goes dead, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Mhm.
You're an idiot.
AGM batteries you need to keep topped up, and if it's going into storage, it should realistically be on a battery tender that has a short circuit built into it, a short circuit protection built into it in case the battery
Yes,
has
sir.
any kinds of issues.
Yes, sir.
But you need to keep that thing on a tender, and you need to check it every once in a while still too, because as noted, those things can go bad. But if you don't properly regularly take care of your AGM batteries, they're not going to last very long. And even if you
It
properly
doesn't matter what
maintain them,
matter.
even if you maintain them, they're only going to last you a couple seasons at best because of what we do to them. You know,
Right.
you recharge it fast, you discharge it fast. You're not going to get 6, 7, 800 cycles out of it that it's rated to do. You're going to get, a couple hundred, which is, a couple seasons worth of shows. So, what new technology do you still recommend having an AGM in the loop? Our new capacitors will actually mix better with AGM than our old LiPo 4 technology, because LiPo 4 has a resting voltage where these don't have a resting voltage. So they'll rest wherever they're charged to or discharged to. So
That's cool.
yeah, you don't need an isolator with these. So, and they can be ran anywhere from 9. My advertised voltage range is 9 to 16.8. It's really 8.8 to 16.8. So, but yeah, there is a bottom. That is one of the other differences with these capacitors, is there is a bottom voltage to them. Most capacitors don't have a bottom voltage, but that's what helps shifts a lot of that energy storage from below 9 volts, where on a traditional capacitor bank, how are you going to get to any of that power that's in between 0 volts and 9 volts? You don't.
You don't.
Does this have something to do with the boosted carbon layer that you talked about?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is what brings. So there's actually only 4 cells in series in these. There is not 6 or 5.
Wow.
They are 3.7 volt cells.
There's a very good question for you, Travis.
This is yes. The question, the answer to that is yes. It is literally an asymmetric hybrid capacitor. We didn't stick a cat bank and a lithium battery into the same shell. This is a hybrid capacitor built with cells that are hybrid in between a lithium battery and a supercapacitor. So, and they exhibit like a traditional cell of its size would be about a 5 amp hour lithium cell, but this only comes out at about 2 amp hours.
But
So it's a lot smaller.
Am I correct when I say that it doesn't matter what battery you produce, you can mix and match all the batteries that you guys have with any technology out there?
Well, with our new NXT, it's able to mix with pretty much anything. Everything else, always read the instructions, because we've got good guides and blogs and everything on the website of how do I safely go about mixing? Should I mix? What are the bad things that can happen if I mix?
Somebody posted a little earlier, and I'm gonna go scroll back up. I'll put it on. You keep going, but I'm gonna put this up on the screen. Check this out.
And I mix AGM with lithium. That's the biggest.
So
hugest.
we don't recommend it. Like, that's the thing, is you kind of hamper your performance of your lithium battery by throwing a higher resistance battery in the loop.
Because
and
it
then
can be charged down lower, right?
Well, so I took Adam's.
Right.
Adam's actually was the one that I was answering. So the new technology, I don't have a problem. No isolator, no nothing. It's not that big a deal. Now you're still kind of robbing some potential charge away from, a higher efficiency charge item. But capacitors mix better with AGM batteries than lithium batteries mix with AGM batteries, because they're always going to be fighting over who gets more of the charge, and it's way more important for the lithium to get the charge, because one of its big benefits is its rechargeability. But also, when you go to turn the car off, I'll answer that one in a sec. when you go to turn the car off, the cap's just going to come down to the voltage of the battery, or they'll just levelize out to the point of the battery is full and not drawing off of the capacitor bank.
Now, what
Or-
lets that capacitor come down? What leaks it off?
Well, in a traditional capacitor, there's just cell leakage.
Okay.
There is just
That would take a while, though.
voltage over about a month in a traditional cap
Okay.
bank. But then we hook electronics up to it, and we don't
Yeah.
measure those little milliamp draws,
Right.
but those milliamp draws add up when we're working with a half an amp hour, 0.8 amp hours.
Right.
You know, 0.02 adds up over 30 days of sitting. You know what I mean? So
with your factory alarm and all the
Mhm.
other stupid shit that
Yeah.
comes into play.
exactly. So, but yeah, traditional caps have usually about a 10% to 15% loss monthly. Our hybrid capacitors have about, I think it's a 5% yearly loss in charge, which is more in line with like a battery than it is a lithium battery than it is with a traditional capacitor. But again, the construction does it sit so close construction wise to a lithium battery, it kind of makes sense. But again, you split the two in half and it's hard to tell which one's which. The only way you can really spot the lithium battery is by seeing that there's
The
some
low
copper
voltage.
in there. No, that there's copper inside of it. Because in capacitors, you're not going to see copper anodes.
Okay, that
Yep.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, it's all almost aluminum straight
Aluminum.
through those. Because you got graphene on both sides. So
You know what now?
or graphite, not graphene. Graphene's not there yet.
Yeah. Okay.
There-
I was
so-
like, what is that?
Graphite.
I don't know.
Oh,
Graphite.
I mean, you hold on. I'll show you a little something. I might get in trouble by another company if they see this, but
I won't tell them. They
I'm
probably
gonna take you to the back door of everybody's fucking supplying the old
Right.
Alibabas.
we won't tell
All
them.
right. Graphene. Oh, come on now.
You heard it here first from J1.
Graphene capacitor. So we see, where's the real one? Because here's the thing: you go onto a site like this, you better know what the hell you're looking for.
Right.
No, you're
Yes.
gonna straight get ripped off right away. So
You get a sample from Mauser,
yeah, hey, you can. You'll pay a lot of
Right.
money for samples from Mauser, but
right? But if
So-
you just get one or two,
we've seen some U.S. made products made of these guys, and they're not terrible. Don't get me wrong. This is a 3,000 farad cap or 300 farad cap, which is oh no, this isn't the right one. This isn't the right one.
That looks like
The
it-
Zoxel. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring up the big one. So here's the big boy that a lot of people have heard about. Maybe if you're not an energy nerd, you might not have heard about these. But
Right.
anyways, 100,000
Haven't
farads is crazy
how big
because
is that?
it's about the size of like a Yinlong cell, real similar to like a
not
Yinlong
true.
cell.
Yeah.
Actual
Yeah.
though, right?
No, and that's huh?
I said
That's-
it's not true.
No, this is real.
Members,
This is a
though,
real
right?
product. This is a real product. This is absolutely a real product. It's a graphene supercapacitor. Now, the grade of the graphene is extremely poor. These are not great cells. So we scroll down here, and I had somebody post up about these the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, we want to bring these in for car audio." I'm like, "Have you guys read the specs yet?" Because yeah, they're 100,000 farads, but they're not 100,000 farads worth of discharge. We got a
The
maximum
recharge-
pulse
The
discharge.
recharge rate, right?
Yeah. So we got a fast charge rate of 60 amps here.
Wow.
So
Hmm.
my little NXT 2K, that 2,000 farad pack, has a 60 amp rating on it. Or this 100,000 farad cell has
Right.
a 60 amp. And then and that's your
Oh, it's not
maximum
like-
continuous is 180 amps. So these suckers go for 160 to 100 bucks a pop. I don't know. I guess most
Per
people aren't gonna hit
cell.
that 60. Yeah, per cell. And then you need 6 of them.
Yes.
So you're 600 bucks in before you touch busing. Put any labor charge on it. Put a case on it. Like this thing is
Right.
get like a $3,000 capacitor bank or a $2,000 capacitor bank. and it supports 2,000 watts.
Yes, sir.
So
And
graphene
see,
ain't there yet.
that's the biggest misconception. Everybody goes on YouTube or Google or whatever, and the next biggest thing promises 1,000 watts per cell. But
Mhm.
like you said, what they're promising and what they're actually doing behind it, they haven't put the research into it, and they're not doing what we do off of that cell. And then,
These were the ones I was looking for. So I have some of these too. And these are actually really cool for like energy storage products. $4 for a 2.7 volt, 3,000 farad cap. Now
that
you're going to
looks
think
like
everybody, Scotty is ripping everybody off by selling IOX's 3,000 farad 2.7 volt caps for $50,
it's
right? That
different.
sounds like a whole ripoff, right?
It's
Hold,
different cells.
yeah, hold the fuck on. Hey, these are about the size of an 18650.
Yeah. That reminds me of a vape battery.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yes,
So
sir.
we have a maximum continuous current of 5 amps. So
Hey,
whole 5 amps.
it's good for LEDs.
Yeah, no, and that's actually where a lot of people are trying to use these for is
Right.
little itty bitty fast
LEDs.
charge batteries or capacitors and to replace batteries. Which for $4 you might even think, hey, maybe I could patch these things together and use like 10 of them. No, because then we start 10 times 4. You're back at $40 per string, $40 times 6. No, like they don't make any sense for car audio at all. They're cool for the things they list them for here: solar lights, electric tools, energy storage stations, telecom, microgrid storage, blah 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 blah. It's really neat, but this has nothing to do with car audio.
Right.
This
At
is
all.
what it takes us, and
Well,
and
there's a
ordering and
lot of
building
people that
these and
mix that
testing
up.
these is what costs us money as a company. Anything new that comes out, I got to buy a bunch of it to test it to see if it's applicable, because we can't just go off what it's rated for and then develop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So Kyle,
Mhm.
on our discharge rate, we have a constant rating of roughly, because we're converting farads into amp hours here, but it's roughly a 15C is what we rated at. Our cells are actually half rated though, so they're rated for 30C continuous from the manufacturer, but that's only for one cycle. We know all of our customers are going to cycle it more than once. So we have those backed off about 50% to keep heat where it needs to be on long-term testing. So,
But I mean, coming from a battery standpoint, a lot of people don't understand if you don't have the wire, the alternator, the everything behind the battery, it doesn't matter what you have.
yeah, no, it has to be installed correctly. Absolutely. Like you need to follow best wiring practices. And I'm not telling you that you have to use wire combs, but hey, it makes it easier to organize everything and make it all look neat. But you need to have properly gauged wire sizes. Like they need to be the right size. You need to be not having bits of the wire cut off. They need to have it not frayed everywhere.
I'm gonna chop half of the wire off to get it to fit inside
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, I don't understand why more people don't
aspect,
use
what are
wire
you
furls.
getting?
Wire furls are
Ferrules?
amazing. Yeah. And we're actually looking at making some like wire slips because people don't like wiring furls. So
Yeah.
it's a tool that you'll put over your wire before you stick it
Yes, sir.
in your
To
amplifier,
clean it up.
and it'll put all the wire in the hole for you. Like a little funnel, basically. Yeah. So I'm working on that right now. That's the next tool that I'm trying to come out with. But I've got the idea kind of there, but it needs developing more. So would you have them mounted underneath the car? I do not think I would use these underneath the car. Maybe they're
What?
chemically resistant enough to like handle water and stuff.
Are we
But
talking about your batteries?
no, Dwayne asked with the wire combs, would
wire
I trust
comb.
them mounted underneath the car?
Oh,
I'm more so
not
worried about.
an insulator under
I'm more so
Insulate.
worried about something coming up and smashing this, because I mean these are still made out of they're still
Plastic.
made out of plastic. So
Plastic, yes, sir.
yeah, these are more for interior of the car. Yeah, just ground under the hood. 4 gauge. Yep. I have seen drop a wrench into a ratcheting wrench into a bank of 50 caps or so.
Anything.
Not 50 caps, 50 banks of caps.
No,
Yeah. I'll let you know. It starts glowing right away, and it
think it
welds
does.
all the bearings together. It is
Listen.
now no longer a ratcheting wrench.
It's melted together and become liquid metal at that point.
And shortly after that incident, we started JY Power. Not even joking. I'm not even joking. That happened at Twisted Sounds about 4 months before. Now, I didn't do it. Steve dropped the wrench into the bank, but I was there to witness it.
Right.
I fucking saw that shit. It was scary.
That was fun.
Oh yeah, man.
Heart rate went up fast.
Oh yeah, and I have anxiety issues like
The original
is.
stress test.
Yep. So.
Hey, listen,
those cactus bats were scary.
I don't have it handy, but I have a pencil steel where I took a notebook like this. I don't have my camera looking at my screen, but I had something like this, and I tossed it down under the hood, and it just happened to ground over the battery.
Yep.
And I have a pencil steel. I use it to design all my boxes with. It's got where the rings
The metal rings on the end.
in there.
Yes, sir.
Find that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's just tossed into the hood. Hood was up.
That's one of the things at the shop is you're not allowed to wear jewelry, and you're not allowed to put keys on your neck. Like we had a key hook, because I've leaned over batteries with keys hanging on my neck and messed up like $1,000 bussing. But
I welded my necklace together with fucking with caps before.
Yep.
Steve got
his ring finger in between two green 80s. So thankfully it wasn't in between two banks. It was just in between two cells. So there's only a 3-volt difference, not a 12-volt.
Right.
But he still has a scar to this day from that. My girlfriend was at the shop, and I had even just said, we had one of the Shen Quan banks out, and I just built it to look at it and see like how the bussing fit and everything. And I was like, man, I should really put this up because somebody's going to touch it and get hurt. And fucking like 5 minutes later, she's like, she doesn't even like think about it. She just sets her hand down on it. She's like, ow. And yeah, she got it. Thankfully, those were LTO. Those are even lower voltage than LFP. But yeah, it still shook hands with her a good bit and heated that ring up real fast.
Guarantee you got in trouble that weekend.
It wasn't my fault. I just should have done something before. It was your
fault.
Yes, I just should have done something before.
It's always our fault.
Hey, none of the kids have gotten hurt at the shop. Leave me alone, all right?
They're the ones that usually get hurt.
Yes, Travis uses his kids. Absolutely.
Hey, they do. Skylar makes money bagging parts and cleaning the shop, and the kids will come in and work, and they get paid for it, and that's what they get to spend their video games on and stuff like that. So, and then they got their chores here too. But
can I quit my full-time position where I live right now and can move down there and you pay me?
But I don't think you want to move here. Rent. Me,
Travis. So I was out there playing pool years ago, and most of those neighborhoods right there, I'm gonna say 5 miles or a couple miles off the strip, in the town, but not out.
Ridiculous.
They were closed, dude. You could have bought one of those houses for $40,000. I mean, they were just closed. They were rocks. They put boulders over the entrance of the neighborhoods.
I don't know if Steve's still in here, but I won't release any personal information. But his house is about doubled in price.
Right.
That's what I've heard in the last 2 or 3 years.
You can't see it because you can't buy another one.
Yep. And like I rent out here because I never really know if I'm going to stay put in a place. So buying something isn't super advantageous.
Years, right?
2 or 3 years now. Yeah, I'm going on 3, but I'm starting to look. But now when I'm starting to look, what I would have wanted is now a $600,000 to $700,000 house. It's crazy. Like
you should have bought it 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, but I bought a cube instead. So
Yep.
Yeah. That was almost 2 house down payments.
Right.
Actually, that was 2 house down payments. So yeah,
absolutely.
We live and learn, though.
That's
I
But
right.
didn't
that
go to
was
college,
all-
so I had to burn money somehow.
But that was all sponsored. That's not true.
Oh yeah, the equipment was sponsored, abso-fucking-lutely, and we still spent well over $100,000 on it. Yep,
People just don't understand. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
people
so
don't
sick of
realize.
hearing that comment.
yep.
Oh, but it was all sponsored. Then you got everything for free.
Yep, I got Kicker took care of us on all of everything that Kicker had, but we paid for everything that came out of JY, which actually, interesting fact, the profit loss on the batteries that we pulled out of the cube
Mhm.
was equivalent to what Kicker basically. Now I'm not counting their profit loss, because if you look at what the
Right.
retail and but like what we took as a hit as a company and what they kind of took as a hit was really similar, but then we turned
Wow.
around and built the whole thing.
Right.
So
But
I
see,
have
that's what a lot of people don't understand is the build, the work, the labor, the hours that you guys put into that vehicle to make it what it is.
well, and this was a
I mean,
massive team
I don't
effort
care
too.
if it's Kicker, if it's Sundown,
Listen,
if
Uh,
I don't care what brand it is. If
Mhm.
you guys did not put the labor, the hours, and all the testing behind what you guys did, it doesn't matter what brand it is.
go to Home Depot and buy enough wood to build that thing again right now.
Oh my
So
God,
right now,
there
it's
was
like $1 million.
there's legitimately 45 sheets of wood in there,
Right.
and I think it's like 600 or 700 feet of steel. Like it's a like
Insane.
steel was 70 or 80 cents a foot back then, when Mike Blanchfield is who actually built the enclosure, and then after Mike built the enclosure, we took it from
Hunter.
there down to King Kong with the guys down there
Mm,
with Kurt and the guys.
right.
And I didn't really, this was dumb of me, but I didn't ask what the bill was going to be. And like, we should have done things differently. Like, I should have just built it. So this is not a bad inflection on them, because
Right.
they had to have people stay late, and we had people waiting for people to be able to work on the vehicle. So my bill was
You mean
like
this
a
other business
Tesla.
money on your build?
I'm not joking. That bill, I could have bought a brand new Tesla, like,
Right.
or a brand new Corvette. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Probably 2 of them.
that was like to get it to where it launched at USAC finals. So at that point, we're like 90,000 into it, and that was at launch. And you all saw what we did to it, and continually kept doing to it and changing. And so yeah, we're well into the 120 to $130,000 range before we start talking trucks and trailers and maintenance.
I was
So
just getting ready to say, but what about towing it to every show? And
$7 to $10 grand a pop.
see, a lot of people forget about that.
Yep.
What's it take to bring it to a show?
Yep.
Look, man, I drove a van that gets like 26 miles a gallon. Right, not bad. To a show, and I spent $600 going just, I don't know, 400 or 500 miles.
We got 67 in
Huh?
the F. We got 67 in the F450,
Right.
and we'd go from Iowa to Vegas.
You ain't been to Iowa in a long time. Don't lie.
Rooms aren't cheap. Flat tires aren't
Yep.
cheap. Things happen. I mean,
Yep.
you know.
When we get a flat, when we have 1 or 2 tires go bad on that trailer, it's 12 on the ground, so it's $3,500 to
Right.
change all the tires at once, and you have
Yeah,
to,
sure.
like, you don't have to, but you have to. So
And
you
Don't
know,
you'll be replacing the other one the next day.
yeah, you're just gonna be chasing them all
Just
around.
in there.
So yeah, it's
100%.
that was a huge expense, and I do plan on bringing it back, but it's gonna stay here. It might go to Slam once every other year or something like that. But if people want to see it, they can come to Vegas. They can come check it out.
The
It will be
Cube?
getting rebuilt. Yeah, we're gonna do a rebuild in it, and it'd be pretty neat. So I'm gonna do a video series on the rebuild, and it's all gonna be public. We'll go over like tips and tricks and stuff, and yeah, it's
Is it all
gonna be all
same
fun.
Kicker?
I don't know. So we haven't talked about it. So I do have some offers in with other companies, and when we did the Cube with Kicker, It was really to bring kicker back and bring them into and a part of the community.
Yes,
And
sir.
the cubes really accomplished that. People don't, there's still some people that refer to kicker in a bad light, but when most people talk about kicker
Yeah.
these days, they're happy with the company.
If
They
they
like
got
the
in that
direction.
cube, they don't joke about kicker.
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
we felt like the cube did its job there, and maybe it'll come back. Maybe it'll get a bunch of cool big subs in there. Maybe it'll come back under somebody else. We work with about 5 different audio brands, and that makes it a little weird for us because we can't ever show one person too much attention.
Yes, sir.
So we do spread that out, but we don't know. I can't tell you what will go into it. I have a couple ideas, but I'm not going to speculate. So
Right. Well, Travis, sir, on the East Coast, it's 11 p.m.
I hear you, man. I need to get food into me too.
I figured you probably did. It's probably 7 o'clock where you are.
8
Man,
to
look,
go.
thank you for coming on tonight. I could have you on
Absolutely.
this anytime you like. Anytime you got something new you want to talk about, please come on.
Please.
I can grill you with questions forever.
Hell yeah, man.
Please.
I'm always down to jibber jabber. So
And so this van thing, I probably will reach out to you soon.
Cool.
With some more questions about that, because I hope to actually have that thing completed like really soon.
Cool.
And I've got the speaker sitting there. I just need to do it.
Well, and either way we go with that power supply system, we can get something going for you pretty quick. So
Yeah, cool.
cool.
All
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for everybody watching.
All right.
Don't you
Travis,
dare,
listen
Justin.
to you, man. Thank
Later,
you.
You're
guys.
right.
Bye.
Travis, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a great night.
Absolutely, Jimmy. See you guys.
All right. So you guys, I'm gonna play this video. It's shorter, but by all means, if you want to stay around for like an hour watching these videos, I appreciate it because I worked hard to
Yeah.
make them. But anyway, here you go. We'll see you guys next Monday evening. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all have a good night.
You've heard of the Base Wars organization. You've probably considered competing in the Base Wars organization. Friends, it's time to pull the trigger.
This is just the beginning.
Base Wars will be attending Slamology, the world's largest automotive and music festival. Yes, friends, you heard that correct. For the first time, Base Wars will be attending Slamology. This is very exciting news, so don't miss your chance to compete with us. You'll enjoy our atmosphere and our laid-back style of competing. Those of us from Slamology, Base Wars, Kicker, and Sky High look forward to seeing you at the world's largest automotive show and music festival, June 10th through the 12th at Indianapolis, Indiana.